welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. We usually delve into a lot of painting talk, as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So if you're a first-time viewer, be warned. But also, if you're a first-time viewer, feel free to ask your questions. I know that there are many questions that especially newer people have that, you just have to ask. And, I'm happy to answer those questions. And so feel free to ask. Of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can always ask your questions to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. It is in the description below, as well as a link to wayofthebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness. Got links for social media, t-shirts, all that stuff. So it's just a lot of fun. Of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. Wayofthebrush.com also has a link for Patreon support. Big thank you to all my patrons who currently support me. Without their support, a lot of these things wouldn't be happening. I probably wouldn't even bother doing this. So, a huge thank you to all my patrons. Of course, if you're considering Patreon support, I have many tiers of support. So there's all sorts of flavors for everybody. And of course, there's certain benefits to certain levels. And so, there's that as well. And of course, if you're not able to support monetarily, you can also support the channel by clicking the thumbs up, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, following, all that stuff. So that all helps as well. Sharing, that's a big one. That helps the channel tremendously. So please share the videos. Even the painting tutorials like I do over there, fresh tips. Mondays or Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then of course, probably Mondays, I'm going to have some one-offs coming up pretty soon. Patrons already have access to these videos. And of course, patrons, you're about a couple weeks ahead if you're supporting by Patreon. So, early access, why not, right? Also, a huge thank you to Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Alfer, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always say thank you to Carl for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingle that plays before the email segment of the show. So always a huge thank you to Carl. And of course, a big thank you to my brother, Evan. Wonderful creative musician. He's the one responsible for the intro music that you played just a few moments ago. So, yeah, huge thank you to my little baby brother. He's a baby brother. He's bigger than me, but he's a baby. And I'm not talking about just antics either. I'm talking about, he's a baby. He's a baby. Who's joining us today? I can see Kevin Cabal. Hello, Happening Hobbyists. Happy Saturday. Daniel Horton. Are you allowed to put all the quick tips you did for mini wargaming on your own page or not? No. Those are owned by Mini Wargaming. But, I made them, and Fresh Tips is kind of in that same vein, that I can just simply recreate them, update them, and, so, yeah. Mind you, though, the collection I built there, it's over 1,000 videos. I was doing quick tips since, 2012, 2013, something like that, so there's, over 1,000 quick tips, which is a lot considering that each video is on a different subject. But just like the fresh tips, and I'm up to I think 40 now on the fresh tips. So check out the fresh tips because it's new stuff. And also too, I did other beginning to end type tutorials there. So there's a bunch there, huge amounts of information. But moving forward, we're moving forward. We're not living in the past. We're moving forward. So, yeah. Eldari Lamborghini. What perfect timing. Perfect. I know. It's like I almost told people what time I was going to be on. P. Peter. It is a fine morning to have monkey shenanigans in the background while playing Thousand Suns. Oh, cool. Cool. Ebb and Flow. Sup, everybody. Sup. Ghost to Starman Deluxe, happy birthday. Hi, monkeys, currently being driven home after my 18th birthday celebration. Cool. Well, it's evening time for you, right? So can't be wrapping it up too early. You're 18. Supposed to be tearing it up on the town kind of thing, isn't it? Or is that later? I don't know. I don't know how much of a partier you are. When I was 18, well, I was already partying way before 18, so 18 wasn't really a big deal. Even 21, 19, 21, I could legally get the stuff. Big whoop. But this isn't about what a bad kid I was. This is about you. And happy birthday. Sammy C. Aloha, Kris. Aloha. Teldonator. Howdy, y'all. Howdy. Sammy C. I've been thinking, Kris. Yeah, a scary thing. But you should sell a set of DVDs, etc. Or even books for all your quick tips, etc. And or new painting tutorials that you have. I'd be online first. I'd be in line first to buy it. Just a thought. Be well, my friend. Well, I have considered. Now, I don't know what Mini Wargaming did with it, but we had redone the Painting Academy. Now, I don't know if Mini Wargaming is ever going to release it or what. I have no idea. But I have been thinking about doing a kind of all-encompassing kind of series. I've also considered the book route as well, and or a book. If I did a book, though, I would like to do something different from the usual painting guides out there. I'd like to do something fun. So, not so dry, but fun, you know. So that's what I'm thinking. A book is in the future. Is it like next week? No. At the very best, in a year. If I started today, properly writing it all out and getting it all prepared, and you know what I mean. Am I starting it today? Who knows? My first thought was, not likely. But, you know, you kind of like those kind of projects. I definitely should just start, and because I've had this on the brain for a bit, and again, many of you guys have been tuning in to me for a while. I have a lot of ideas on the brain. An all-encompassing painting series to help beginners from beginning to end, and going into more advanced type things. Yes, definitely. That definitely can happen. Especially since now I can work at my own pace and create and spend the amount of time that I want and make the kind of video I want. Definitely can happen. I also have in mind, one or two of the monkeys out there knows what I'm talking about. I have another project on the brain that I actually want to do, and that actually might be the first thing I get into, because I'm thinking that I'm probably going to pull the trigger. I've been talking, I'm pretty sure I told Old Man Logan my idea, and I think I'm going to pull the trigger on that one pretty soon. I'm hoping maybe like late April, maybe early May, I might get started on this project. I'm going to try and get the ball rolling soon so that we shoot in May. So, but more on that in the future. Grim. Hello all. Hello Grim. Sammy C, do it. Yeah. Daniel Horton. Was it a mistake in your eyes, Mini Wargaming moved to a bigger building? Also, will we see you, Eldar Starfleet, on Mini Wargaming or Ash page as they started to play more Battlefield Gothic? Well, I mean, on Ash's and Owen's. Actually, I don't know if I played Ash, Battlefield Gothic. I've played Owen a few times, so if you look on Owen's channel, we've played Gothic a few times. I may have played Ash. I don't know if we've played. I think we have. I want to say we have. But as far as coming in and playing some Battlefield Gothic at Mini Wargaming or whatever, yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. As far as Mini Wargaming moving into the bigger building, was that a mistake? No, it wasn't. No, that wasn't a mistake. No. The route that got there, but that move, no. Sammy C, Ghost Starman Deluxe. I took some of my friends out to Pizza Hut for lunch. You took your friends out on your birthday? Your friends should have been paying for you, bud. Many shenanigans. Many shenanigans occurred, and a good time was had by all. Well, as long as there was a good time, that's all that matters. Even if you were by yourself on this, solemn day, that's fine as well. Yeah. I'm really not one for celebrating birthdays. Um, just it's my own view. I mean, like, I don't treat it as a big thing, especially the older I get. Excuse me. Sorry, everybody's got headphones on. Yeah, I'm not really one for, going too crazy on a birthday. Although, mind you, though, my daughter is turning 18 in April, and we're going to go visit the Gim, and we're probably going to head over to Quebec, where it's legal, because 18, you can drink at 18, and so she wants to see Quebec, and, so we're going to do that as well, as, of course, have a nice visit with the Gim. Sammy C, tell us when you got your series done. I'm buying. Put me down right now. Yeah, I don't know if it would be a DVD Blu-ray type thing. I mean, Blu-ray, of course, right? I don't know if it would be that. Just because the physical media stuff is kind of done, right? Physical media is like, it's antiquated now. Everything's streamed. You just save it to a hard drive, and of course the hard drive becomes that physical media, really. But otherwise, yeah, as far as delivery service, no. I mean, if anything, it probably would be something, and of course I've given this thought, if I do create that kind of series, it's probably going to be something I put behind essentially a paywall on my website, on wayofthebrush.com. If I go any kind of route where I want to charge for this kind of series, because yeah, I mean, like, it is kind of one of those things that I probably should charge. It should have a decent price point. And, when you make physical media and stuff like that, it kind of ups the cost of everything. And so, I don't really want to go that route. And it just makes it more accessible. But then the thing becomes, well, it can be theft. Theft is a lot easier in that regards. I mean, like, if you had a physical copy, you're not likely to, put it on your computer and then all of a sudden, it gets stolen or it gets shared, it shows up on, torrent sites and stuff like that, right? So, again, it's a lot of things to consider, but as far as going the physical media route, I kind of doubt it. Unless, of course, I did it as, say, something like a Kickstarter, but then I can see that not being very successful. So, I mean, I could be completely wrong. It might be something, especially if the subject matter and what it's all encompassing. And unfortunately, because of the nature of where we're at in miniature wargaming, the atmosphere that we're in right now, especially with social media, YouTube, and all this, it's going to be a lot of Space Marine examples. And I'm not really fired up about that because basically anybody who's doing any kind of painting content on the internet, they're showing fucking Space Marines. It's Space Marines all the fucking time. Space Marines or Chaos Marines or some sort of GW product. Now, I realize that that's because that's the most popular, and people who are doing the YouTube thing, they want to, they want the views, and so I don't know. It just, I'd rather do something. I'd rather tread the path not taken often, but unfortunately, it may take a long time for that kind of thing to develop steam, right? So, I don't know. Again, it's not set in stone. I've yet to begin on those things. I've just been concentrating on more just getting my own stuff and, getting my own videos created and stuff like that. And, like right now, as it is, as far as like my schedule is concerned, as far as production is concerned, I'm in a pretty decent spot. I just need to get back on track with creating more battle reports, because essentially when we're talking about making videos on YouTube or on Twitch, battle reports, like anybody who's in this wargaming hobby, make battle reports, because that's what gets views. Painting videos don't get a lot of views. Anybody who's doing painting videos, they don't do a lot of videos. Like, it's like a week, 2 weeks, one video, right? Me personally, I've been producing 4 videos a week for YouTube. I've got 2 fresh tips go up Tuesday, Thursdays. I've got Way of the Brush, and I've been getting my projects done. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to have a 5th video coming up. So it'll be a couple weeks of that. And I've got another couple videos in mind that I want to film in the format that those new videos were produced in. So yeah, so again, everybody on Patreon already knows what I'm talking about, and for the rest of you, you know, you got to get on that. Just saying, it helps me, you know, helps me create these videos. Where am I? Johnny's Chop Shop. I canceled my subscription. Why would I pay for battle reports when it's all over YouTube for free? In my humble opinion, the painting videos were the best ones. Thank you. And you know, that's the thing, is like battle reports, like getting people to pay for battle reports, that's a tough one. That is a tough one to convince people to buy, especially people who are just getting into this hobby, and convince them that, like, without already having like a fan base, you know, convincing people that to buy your battle reports. Yeah, that's a hard one. And the only way I think that you can do that is by going the competitive route, because everybody who's kind of new to wargaming, often the competitive streak is like hand in hand with the painting and getting good at the painting, getting good at the game, you know what I mean? And just kind of being really good, right? And so you can always kind of charge for painting videos. Anybody who's producing painting videos for absolutely free, I think they're foolish. You can charge people for that. But the battle reports, without a fan base, it's kind of hard. You gotta sell something, right? Something that's, you know, purchase worthy. Competition type videos and showing people how to be more competitive and pick the right armies and composition, and you know what I mean? All these aspects. That's something you can sell. Why? Because it's education. You can sell people education. Hell, there's an institution developed around it, right? So you can always charge people for education. But entertainment, well, TV has been doing that for years. But how does TV stay free to you for the most part without your fucking cable bills and stuff like that? But does anybody do cable anymore? I don't even know. But how do they do it? Advertisements. So people who are doing YouTube videos and you want their videos for free, well, guess what? They got to get sponsors. They've got to shill. So anybody who's doing YouTube, and I remember somebody made a comment on one of my videos about me shilling, and yeah, I'll shill because it's the only way it's the only way the content's gonna get made. It's the only way that, you know, it stays free, right? And so yeah, and everybody on YouTube is shilling. Everyone, even Twitch, shilling. Everybody shills. Just get over that right now. Everybody's a shill. They're shilling for views, they're shilling for likes, they're shilling for subscribers, they're shilling for Patreon support, they're shilling for subscriptions, followers, all that. Or their own ego. But either way, they're shilling. So, it's the world we live in. Samuel Sanfretto. Fratello. Hi, Kris. Thanks for the brush care tips. No problem, Samuel. Yeah, we had a long conversation about brush care. I thought I had a video on brush care, like on my channel. Did I not do a video on brush care? I thought I did. And Samuel, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did a video on brush care. It was like 2020 or 2019 brush care. Every once in a while, I got to produce one of these videos that, you know, explains taking care of your brushes, and, you know, actually, there's another video I'm currently writing it out. Actually, I'm actually kind of scripting it out on my talking points and everything like that. And so, yeah, that's going to be the next video for the patrons. So that'll be like probably 3 weeks out. Yeah, I'm like 2 weeks ahead. Believe it or not, I'm like 2 weeks ahead. Aaron Seach, sup, Kris and Monkey Brethren. Happy Saturday. What's everybody working on? Me, hobby time, has been kind of put on the back burner for the time being, taking care of my injured pup. Yeah. So I seen the little guy pull through. Awesome. Sir Peanut Butter, morning peeps. Kris and peeps, morning. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Pizza Hut has unlimited Pepsi family drinks, which isn't terribly common in a part of the UK. Yeah, that's common here in North America. But, you know, the appetites are bigger here in North America. I've gathered that from a lot of, you know, talking from with a lot of people from Europe, like portion sizes, meals, drinks, stuff like that. Yeah, it's not the same. North America, everything's big, everything's supersized in North America. More in the States than Canada. Canada's a little bit not quite as extreme as America in that regards, but it's close. It's not that far off. Hence all the big fat asses walking around. Daniel Horton, I remember when you had long hair and you chained it short. Any chance you will get rid of my beard? Any chance I'll get rid of this facial hair? Oh man, that's a question, because I often make comments about how I'd love to get rid of this. I'd honestly love to get rid of this. Truth be known, I would love to shave it all off. But it's kind of become part of the identity of me, the channel, the persona, as it were. So, am I going to get rid of it? Not likely. Because even my little logo, right? He's a tamarin monkey with a giant mustache. Tamarin emperor monkeys, right? And emperor 40K, right? So, it's all tied together, right? And he kind of mirrors me, right? He doesn't quite mirror me because he's got a brush in his mouth. There we go. So he doesn't have a little tuft of hair on the top of his head though, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But yeah, I would love to just lop this all right off. It's not likely gonna happen anytime soon, but I would love to. Ghost Starman looks good shit. We still need a lewd Kris calendar. Yeah, I don't think you need that, dude. That's not something you need. You don't need it. Dark Commission, there he is. Hi, Kris and folks. Hi. Ariel Sazinski. Got to get that bread. You do. I mean, if I want to keep doing this, I've been doing this kind of work, this, creating videos online, painting tutorials. I've been doing this since 2011. I've been actively, in the employee of making videos for wargaming and, painting videos and such. And so, I figured because I kind of like this. It's, it's fun. And yeah, it is kind of one of those, turn your hobby into your job kind of thing. But as a warning to everybody out there, there's some serious considerations you have to make when turning your hobby into your job, because it no longer becomes your hobby. So there is that danger. Danger, Will Robinson, danger. Daniel Horton, maybe you should show own how to brush care, as he posted that he had to buy new ones or has Facebook. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Daniel, but okay. I'll agree. Or disagree. I agree to disagree with that agreement of that comment. Johnny Shop, Way of the Brush, episode 281. Are you shilling me? True. Grim, I remember when I was studying in France years ago that other Americans were complaining about drink sizes being less. I merely smiled because I didn't care. Yeah, I spent just a little bit of time over in the UK last year, and yeah. Now I didn't go into any of the chains that are inherently North American, like Pizza Hut or what was the other one I saw? Oh, it was Taco Bell. I saw Taco Bell, and I didn't stop in any of those because we're up to here in those, right? So but anyway, yeah. But from my experience with guests coming in, and talking with people from Europe and such, that it's their portions are not as large. Like the Hungry Man breakfast, that is very common on this side of the Atlantic. The Hungry Man, they don't have that over there, and if they do, it's not going to be to the proportions in which we eat, But what are you gonna do? Ariel RSA. Did you change your name? Is there two Ariels in here? Anyway, it's like Bob Ross's perm. Yeah, exactly, right? Once he did the perm thing, he had to keep it up. You know, even though his hair wasn't naturally like that. He did the perm because he wanted something low maintenance. As far as I understand the biography of the man, that he did that, you know, just the low maintenance because at the time, you know, he didn't have a whole lot of money and he was just looking for something that was low maintenance, and so perm the hair. You don't see a lot of guys with perms. Not that I'm about to go get a perm, but if I could grow like a big beautiful afro, I would. If I had that kind of hair, oh yeah, I'd rock one of those great big fros. Totally, I would love to. It'd be awesome, and it'd be great. Dark Commission, episode 281, shilling for the shilling. Daniel Horton, so is one of the fault of mini wargaming is because they don't do competitive gameplay or show them at tournaments? Fault? I don't know about fault. I mean, people tune in to mini wargaming all the time. I mean, you know, people tune in for the personalities for mini wargaming, and it's really not about, you know, the armies. So yeah, not a huge thing. And there's never been any real desire to get into a lot of the competitive stuff, right? And mini wargaming's been around so long that they have such a solid fan base that, you know, they can charge for battle reports because the people are tuning in for the people creating the content. So yeah, it's a different story for mini wargaming. Different story. I don't know about fault though, but yeah. Ghost Starman Deluxe. Wait, did you say you saw a Taco Bell in the UK? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I thought I saw a Taco Bell in Nottingham. Or Nottingham. Yeah, I thought I saw a Taco Bell. There was a Pizza Hut. There was a Taco Bell. I'm pretty sure I saw a Taco Bell. Because I was like, oh, what am I going to have for lunch one day? I was out with Dark Commission. And I was considering grabbing a little bit of Taco Bell. I ended up grabbing, I think, Pizza Hut, actually. Maybe I did grab Pizza Hut. Anyway. Dr. Santos, hello all. Hello. Daniel Horton. I said Owen brought new brushes and posted it on his page on Facebook. And I said he could have done with one of your videos of brush care so he didn't have to buy new ones. Oh, you mean show Owen? Yeah, I don't see Owen all too often. I saw him actually last night, but Owen does his own thing, and Owen's progressing at the level at which Owen wants to progress at. So, you know, if he wants help, I'm more than willing to help the guy, show him a few things. But if he's happy with where he's at, then, you know, who am I? You know, I'm only willing to help those who want the help. If you want the help, I'll help you. If you don't want help, yeah, then fine. Lehman Russ. Hi, Kris. I'm not into the hobby, just like the lore, but I still enjoy watching your vids. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, look, well, the lore is part of the hobby too. Being into the lore, that's the hobby, right? You like reading. You like reading the stuff. That's a hobby. Reading's a hobby, right? I mean, it's a vital function, I think, but so is walking, and walking's a hobby. But walking is just how we get from place to place. But same with reading. Reading is important, and so, you know. Anyway, I can't quite recall what the point was of that, but yeah, but that's the hobby, right? And yeah, like this wargaming, the 40K universe, because I would assume Lehman Russ, having that as your handle, you're into the 40K lore, so, you know, yeah. But buying all the books and reading up on all this craziness and, you know, getting the codexes and just reading the codexes and, you know, and never playing a game, absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, it's how you enjoy spending your time, your money. I mean, do whatever you like. you know. So yeah, enjoy it, man. I honestly, I wish I was more into reading and things. I mean, I read, but I don't like. I'm still, I'm still trudging my way through the Horus Heresy. I'm on Legion, which is like the 6th or 7th book, I think. So I'm on Legion finally, and I only started reading the Horus Heresy like a year ago. So I know it's been around for 20 years almost, and yeah, I'm just getting into it now. So I've been familiar with it, and I've always loved, because the whole thing about like the love of the Horus Heresy, it comes from Legion of the Damned, the old rule book for Chaos, the one with the Nurgle on the cover. Fantastic tome. And there's a short story. It's only, I think, about 4 or 5 pages with that great illustration of Horus and the Emperor facing off. That's basically what has inspired so many people since those days to explore the Horus Heresy and the beginning, and when the Emperor was still alive, and you know what I mean, like, and tell all these different stories. And so being into the Horus Heresy, yeah. And being into the Horus Heresy is mostly about the lore. Even the war gamers that buy the armies and stuff like that, they're still heavily invested into the lore. I don't know anybody who was into 30K that wasn't into the lore. So, you know, that's that. The lore is the gateway into that, I think. Sipping on my coffee. Ariel. Yep, changed my name. Okay, so same Ariel. Aaron Siege, episode 281, Way of the Fro. Yeah, if I could, I would, man. I'd totally rock a fro. But I can't, and I'm not going to perm my hair, so. And I was blessed with perfectly straight hair. Actually, as I get older, it gets kind of wavy. My father had very curly hair. My mother hair is bone straight, atypical of Native Americans. So, you know, whereas my father, his hair was very curly. I've got a sister. Her, when she was small, her hair was like coils. Like you wrap like wire around a pencil, right? And you free it, and then you try to straighten that coil back out. You can't. That was her hair. It was like that. It wasn't steel. She's not Superman. At least I don't think she was. But her hair was that curly. Ghost Star Man Deluxe. I'm pretty sure I didn't even see a Taco Bell when I went to America. Definitely haven't seen one over here. Well, we're going to have to Google it. Google it, Starman. Google it. Taco Bell in the UK. Unless I was delusional, which I could have been. But I'm pretty sure I saw Taco Bell. It was in that little square off of Nottingham. Or in Nottingham. Like where I was in Nottingham. I assume it's downtown. But anyway. Was it Taco Bell? Pretty sure it was a Taco Bell. I'm pretty sure. Anybody in Nottingham? Taco Bell. Is there a Taco Bell there? For God's sake. Somebody back me up, please. For God's sakes, I'm drowning here. Please, back me up. Grim. It seems that as of 2018, there are around 29 Taco Bells in the UK. Okay, Grim. There we go. Grim's backing me up. Grim's got my back. See? That's why I like Grim. Because Grim's got my back. Ghost Star Man Deluxe. My entire worldview has changed by this revelation. Yeah, and I'm surprised that when you came to North America that you didn't see Taco Bells. Because, like, I mean, in Canada, what you'll see the most of is Tim Hortons and Wendy's. Because the two companies are owned, or they're part of the same corporation or some shit like that. But yeah, so Tim Hortons and Wendy's, you'll see lots of Taco Bells, you'll see lots of KFCs, you'll definitely see lots of Burger. Well, actually, Burger King's kind of on the down, or at least it seems like it. But anyway, Burger King's, of course, McDonald's. McDonald's is everywhere though. I'm trying to think what else. What are some other ones? But yeah, Taco Bell. Taco Bell's not as big as, say, like KFC or, you know what I mean? But they're pretty big. Actually, I think you see Taco Bell here in Canada, you see Taco Bell and KFC as part of like a combined thing. So one of the two bought each other out, I would assume. I don't know. I haven't looked into it because, you know, honestly, I don't give a shit. So, Johnny Shop. Okay, serious question. Do you use lube on your airbrush needle? If so, what brand? What lube do I use? Where's my lube? Because last time I was doing my airbrush, I just lubed my brush. I do use the lube. I use Badger's lube. Gonna make a freaking liar out of me now. What did I do with my lube? Son of a... Oh, there it is. Yeah, I always use Reg Dab. That's Badger's lube. Reg Dab. Badger backwards, right? So that's what I use. I have in this this plastic baggie just because, prevent leakage, and yeah, and I just put it back in there. And, I mean, realize that if you left it standing up, but honestly, you see like my painting area here, it's a mess. Yeah, I still haven't reorganized up. I just haven't gotten around to it, honestly. I just haven't gotten around to it. On top of, just kind of trying to do my thing, and yeah. Honestly, cleaning all that up is not a priority for me. It should be, but it's not. Anyway. But yeah, I do use lube. When do I lube? I usually lube when I'm cleaning the brush and I'm giving it a thorough cleaning, and I'm going to put it away, and I'm really not planning on using it for, say, a week, a couple days, whatever. I'm putting it away. Yeah, that's really it. It's part of my my tear down cleanup when I do that. I used to be more religious about it when I was working a regular 9 to 5, but because I'm at home now, and I'm just kind of whenever I feel like doing it, really. So, or really, actually, it's probably pretty much whenever I feel the trigger. Oh shit! I had air. My compressor's still on. It's whenever I really start to feel this starting to get a little tacky, then I got to relube my needle and everything. And then, yeah, I shot the cap somewhere. I don't know where the cap went. Again, I'm ready to go at a moment's notice. I'm just all these tools are just kind of sitting here ready to go, and I just shot that thing out, and it hit my computer too. Didn't hurt anything. Computer's got a aluminum case on it, so it's fine. Oh shit. Where am I here? We'll see. Hey, give me some ideas for Warcry. What would look good, and most importantly, what colors? Well, I don't play Warcry. Although I do like the models of the birdie dudes, and I like the centaur dude. I like that centaur dude. And as far as colors, whatever you want. Do you play any other games? Like, for example, if you play, let's say 40K, and you have Space Marines and you're painting Ultramarines, so you're painting a shit ton of blue, maybe paint something with a shit ton of red, green, you know what I mean? And just change up what colors you're constantly working in, right? So, but I mean, that's a fairly broad question, and it's really, like, you are the only person really qualified to answer that kind of question, like you have interest in Warcry. Excellent. Do you really want to regularly play it and paint? Awesome. Is the Warcry community strong in your area so that you can constantly play with people, so to keep your interest up in the game? If so, excellent. Then often the other factor that will play into my choice in an army or faction or whatever is whatever the local meta is. So, like, for example, when I was getting into War Machine, there was a lot of Khador players, there was a lot of Signar, a lot of Krix. There was a lot of all these other factions, and I was like, well, I don't want to play any of these other factions because everybody else has kind of got this. Like, there was 2 or 3 of every faction, right? And so I was like, I'm going to go Mercs. And so I went Mercs for War Machine. And I had a lot of fun. I didn't win every game, but I had fun, and it was challenging, and I enjoyed it. And so, as far as what faction you want to play in Warcry, well, if you have a regular gaming group that you go and play with, and everybody's kind of like, I'm going to play this faction, I'm going to play this faction, then pick the faction that nobody's playing. If you're interested in the challenge in the gameplay, and as far as painting the models, well, paint them however you like. You can go with the pre-described color schemes that Games Workshop will tell you to do, Or you could go right off the beaten path and paint them whatever colors you like. Nothing's stopping you. You spent the money on the models. You can paint them however you like. They're your models. So do whatever you want. But as far as, getting into it, I mean, like, that's a fairly broad question. And you're the only one qualified really to answer that, you know. Grim, when you said coils, I heard goils in the manner of Popeye the Sailor Man. No, I can't do it. I gotta have a couple more in me before I can do a Popeye. Anyway, Dark Commission, City Center chippies aren't usually too good. Pity we couldn't find a better chippy for your first UK fish and chips. In towns, there are chippies every other street. My local is awesome. Yeah. I wish I had more time. Aaron Seach, one thing that was interesting about the Bob Ross is that he was so set in... Why does this pop up every time I'm doing my show? Piss off. Interesting about Bob Ross is that he was so set in that image that even when he was undergoing cancer treatments and his hair was falling out, he rocked the wig to keep his image. Because he understood the branding, which is why that his brand still persists to this day. Because the guy died, 20 years ago? Over 20 years ago? Something like that. So, and we still refer to him in somewhat reverent tones, memories, right? So, you know, and I argue that Bob Ross, like when I was younger, okay, here, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here. When I was younger and I was, studying art and, forming my own opinions of art, and I was of the mindset that Bob Ross, okay, and I'm probably not alone in this viewpoint, because it's why it took so long for him to actually get into, museum and such, but his artwork was very derivative, and it was not it wasn't original in any other sense that, other than he made it. But I mean, like, it wasn't challenging, and I've always understood art as to be challenging. Good art is always challenging, and Bob Ross's art wasn't that. It was not challenging, and it wasn't controversial, and you know what I mean? Like, it was just hang it above your couch kind of art. It was that kind of stuff, right? And so when I was younger, I held the opinion that Bob Ross's art was not good art. But, and of course, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who thinks that. Because again, like I said, it was just in the last, year or two that his artwork is being recognized in a museum. But because he's become an icon. And as I got older and reflected upon the work of Bob Ross was an artist, and a good artist, and he made good art. But it wasn't the canvases he painted. Bob Ross's medium wasn't oil on canvas. Bob Ross's medium was the camera. That was his medium. And his artwork, his challenge, was the positivity that he put forth. That was his challenge. Bob Ross was ahead of his time in that regards, that the world needed more positive messaging. That's why Bob Ross is a great American artist. He'll go down in the history books as one of the great 20th century artists of America. But it wasn't the canvas that he painted. It wasn't the oil on canvas that he painted. That's not what made him a great artist. It was the medium in which he worked. It was the camera. So, yeah. I'm going to move up a bit forward. Telendator. Way the Brush, episode 281. What did I do with my lube? I like it. Telendator. I like it. It's nice and low brow. And I'm all about the low brow. So some people out there must be like, Kris, really? Come on. Dick and fart jokes? Really? It's the 21st century, dude. We're still talking about dick and fart jokes? Come on. Yeah, we're still talking about dick and fart jokes. I enjoy a good dick and fart joke. Daniel Horton. Bet you didn't think you would be talking about lube so much on a painting show. Daniel, I don't know how long you've been tuned into this show, but I've been talking about lube and the necessity of lube for years. Harry, isn't Taco Bell considered lube? It's a laxative. I don't know about lube. We'll see. I play everything. Warcry is just small projects. I experiment on other people's ideas. But thanks. Everyone talks about the bird guys. I'll check them out. Yeah, I like the bird guys. If I was going to get into Warcry, bird guys is probably the top of the list. The bird dudes. Because they just look kind of cool. I have no idea what they're about. Oh, and the elf dude. The elf centaur dude. I kind of wish the whole gang was just elf centaur dudes. Because that'd be cool. There needs to be more centaurs in Age of Sigmar universe. I have not played Warcry. I've not watched it. Yeah. Same with what is it? Underworlds. I haven't played Underworlds either. I bought the Dark Oath. They're Darkkin, Dark guys, the Dark Barbarian human with Mohawk duders. I bought them. Haven't gotten them finished. I don't even know where the hell they are. They're somewhere. They're somewhere. Don't know. Anyway. Ghost Starman Deluxe. Okay, I said in Discord that I'd tell you about my birthday haul, so here we go. The big thing I got was a Nintendo Switch with Mario Kart. But I also got quite a bit of GW stuff. Cool. Awesome. Nintendo Switch? Cool. It's fun. Been thinking about getting a Switch for the wife because she's a big fan of old school video games and stuff. And so, yeah. And I figure if I buy her Tetris, that'll be very time consuming. Ebb and Flow at Kris. Bob Ross, positive energy drink. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, Bob Ross was all about that positive energy. And that was his message. Was positivity. Was caring about others, caring about nature. A message I totally can get behind. Because, need more of that today. Need more. Dr. Xantos, Kris, I just sent you an email. Can you check if it came through? As I got an error message. Well, if you got an error message, then it probably didn't get it. No, last one I got is from Legion at 11:25 this morning. You sent it at Kris@wayofthebrush.com. Hopefully. It's in the description below. Just click that. It'll go. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I look forward to it, Doctor. Please. Dark Commission. I thought Banksy was original, but it turns out basically copied a French artist called Bec Le Rat. Yeah. I probably said that entirely wrong, but anyway. Yeah. Picasso said it best. Picasso's quote, and I'm sure Picasso probably stole it from somebody else. Picasso is one of my favorite artists, to be honest. I talk about Picasso a lot, and Picasso is one of my favorite artists. Anyway, good artists borrow, great artists steal. Now, I've often thought, okay, well, stealing, I'm just going to take that person's idea and I copied it. I did it. I'm brilliant. No, I think really what his intention was, now I'd be completely wrong. I think his intention is that when we steal it, see, when we borrow, it's like, I'm gonna. It just happens to be a light bulb. Happy coincidence. I'm gonna borrow this idea. Oh, it's a great idea. I'm gonna borrow that. But here you go. right? It's a borrow, right? I have it. It's in my possession for the moment, and now I'm giving it back. Whereas when we steal it, it's mine now. It's all mine, and I'm going to keep it. It's my precious. And so when you steal it, you make it yours. And so then that stolen thing, because you make it yours, you put your own spin on it and then put it forward, right? So that's how I've interpreted that one. Good artists borrow, great artists steal. So when you see something, don't be afraid. But also, as a sign of respect, where you did steal that idea, let people know, hey, I didn't, I've been doing it for years, but when I saw it, it was somebody else's and they were doing it, right? Anyway. Ghost Star Alex. In terms of minis, I got Necromunda Dark Uprising. Awesome. The Admech Transport. Cool. A Chaos Sorcerer. And apparently I got an Ambot box coming. I'm so happy. Oh, an Ambot. Such a happy monkey. Yeah, I got to pick up an Ambot. I want to pick one up. I would like to get the one for Black Fortress, and I also definitely want to get the one for Necromunda, because I think that one for Necromunda I would like to just do because it's a techno robot-y thingy, and so yeah, I'd like to do that. Peep Eater. Bob Ross's art was the people he inspired to try their own hands at artistic pursuits. Sure, he was a really great instructor in that regards, right? He was, inspiring others to pick up their brushes and actually start putting paint to a canvas surface or paint to a surface. But what was convincing people to do that was the positivity, right? Bob Ross always put forth that message of positivity about, your work, your loved ones, your neighborhood, your community, nature, your environment. He was all about that putting forth that positivity. And that was his message. And it's a good message because it's positive. So, but as far as if you're going to just look at the superficial things about Bob Ross and look at his paintings, yeah, they were not challenging at all, right? But that, I argue, was not what made him a great artist. It was not the medium in which he was working. That he wasn't a master. Yeah, he wasn't a master of that oil on canvas. He was a master of oil on canvas and the wet on wet techniques. But he was mastering the media. That's what he mastered. That was his medium. Where the hell am I? Aaron Siege. If you came here not to hear dick and fart jokes, you came to the wrong fucking place. That's right. Aaron's nailed it right on the head. Aaron's been around for a while. He's been listening to my bullshit for a long time, so he knows that, the weight of my heart is dick and fart jokes. Harry, so basically don't go dry. Don't go dry. Exactly. I don't even know what we mean by that. What does that even mean? Now it shows what message retracted, but we still see it, Harry. Why did it get retracted? Because on YouTube, it, like in my thing here, it shows that the message got retracted. Why did it get retracted? Did you delete it? Jabba's left nuts. So Bob Ross, the American version of Rolf Harris. I think so. Yeah, definitely. I'm not that familiar with Rolf Harris, but I know that the work that Bob Ross was doing, as far as his techniques and what he was instructing on, there was already a bunch of other people who were doing it as well. But what separated Bob Ross was obviously the look, the message. You know, that was what separated him from all the other people, because there was other people at the time doing exactly the same thing as Bob Ross, but they never took off. Bob Ross, and even at the time, Bob Ross wasn't like, he was familiar, but he wasn't. You know what I mean? It was not like today. If Bob Ross was still alive today, doing his thing today, and he was doing it on YouTube, he'd probably be one of the biggest YouTubers out there. And of course, if he was younger as well. If he was a young guy doing that, just the way the internet works these days. Dr. Santos sent the message again. No error this time. Hopefully it worked. Cool. Let me see here. Yes, I see 2 emails from you. Look like the same pictures? Yeah, I've got 2 now. I've got 2 emails. So they came through. Fumble. I'm having a great fun stealing techniques. Recently picked up oil washes and weathering. Trying new things is awesome. Yeah, definitely. Experiment. I tell you guys all the time, experiment. Play. Don't take it too seriously. And, especially when, for a lot of you guys who are war gamers out there, and you're building up a huge collection of whatever army you're collecting, take a break. Do another thing. Practice a technique, or see the opportunities for advancing your technique in the model surfaces that you're painting, Just give it a shot. Just play. Just try with different materials, different techniques. Just play. That's all you got to do. And you're going to enjoy your hobby a whole lot more. And you'll build up your experience in various materials and techniques. And there's nothing wrong with that, Sure, you could go laser precise and focus on just glazing with, scale 75 colors and just perfect that. By all means, go do it. Of course, for the rest of us, who want to have a broader approach to things, sure, why not? It all depends, I guess, on mindset, what you get out of this hobby, because obviously what you get out of this hobby is what you put in. So, if you only have time, 2 hours a week to put into your hobby time, then obviously, you might be a little bit more focused, or you might be a bit more relaxed. It's entirely up to you. There is really no wrong way to go about this hobby of miniature painting and gaming and reading, and so yeah. Harry having computer issues. Ugh, WTF. Sorry, Harry. Dark Commission. Rolf was more all-round accomplished artist. He had the queen sit for him. Sure. So, if you're getting the queen to sit for you, yeah, you'd have to be a fairly well-established artist. Yeah. Would the queen sit down for Bob Ross? I don't know. Or maybe even the president, if that seems a bit more appropriate. I don't know. But either way, yeah. Rolf was a different caliber of artist. And again, like I said, for when Bob Ross was still alive, he was not considered a serious artist. So to have the queen sit for you, you would have to be regarded as a serious artist. Bob Ross, when he was alive, was not held in that same regard. His brush technique and everything like that was considered, cookie cutter. Paint by numbers. That was more what he was. But like I said, I argue that the oil on canvas was not his art. His art was that show he produced. That was the art. That was the medium. I think I'm starting to finally make that point. I think some of you might be starting to grasp that. Different artist, really. If you're comparing him to Rolf, and Rolf can have the queen sit down for him, it was obviously his canvas skills that were of interest. Bob Ross's canvas skills were not of what was concerned. It was the show he produced. Anyway. Johnny's Chop Shop. The UPS guy just arrived. I got my Wave the Brush banana hammock today. What? Where do I send the pictures for the Monkey Shrine? I hope you're fucking kidding. But where do you send the pictures? You send them to Kris at Wave the Brush. I hope you're fucking kidding that you got a banana hammock. Where the hell did you get a banana hammock done? Because I don't sell a banana hammock. So it better not have been some Chinese third party. Of course, I hope you're making the joke. I hope to fucking God you're making a joke. We'll see. That's a crooked tree. We'll send him to Washington. Ross would probably get demonized on YouTube. Demonized? No. Bob Ross today, if Bob Ross was on YouTube, if he got started on YouTube, Bob Ross would be a huge success. He'd be huge. He would be highly regarded in this day for his positive message. Sure, you listen to some of his language from back in the day, but he was a man of his times. I mean, you know. But yeah, if he was on YouTube today and he was just starting and he was, say, 10 years younger than when he started on PBS, yeah, he'd be fucking huge. He'd be huge. So, yeah. No, he'd be huge. Because he'd be entertaining, chilling out to him, listening to his voice, especially with, you know, how much ASMR is so popular these days. Definitely, you know, definitely. No, he would be huge today, and in fact, he would be, you know, he would be lauded as a great American artist today if he was alive today, doing YouTube, you know, and got started on YouTube, and you know what I mean, like, forget the PBS, but and just showing people how to do his painting technique. Yeah, he'd be huge. He's huge now because obviously so many of us in the past, you know, remember him so fondly, and that nostalgia. And again, I've been talking a lot about nostalgia. I did a video recently. It's Patreon members have access to it right now, but talking about nostalgia and this age we live in of nostalgia, and you know, yeah, that's what's carried Bob Ross into the 21st century, is nostalgia. That's why his name is revered now, you know. So, anyway. Nathaniel, greetings, Kris and fellow monkey. Greetings, Scale Model Muse. Sits coffee pot in the middle of table. Jeez. Just gonna slam a whole coffee pot. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I just want to just put a coffee pot down, yeah, and just drink coffee and brew away on things. Nathaniel, sue him for copyright infringement. Oh, for the banana hammock? No, come on. Or no, I'm sure he's joking when he said a banana hammock. He's probably got a shirt, I hope. Scale Model Muse, and I show up when he says a banana hammock. Bob Ross was freaking awesome. Bob Ross was freaking awesome. You might have missed my initial rant on Bob Ross. You'll have to go back a bit, but yeah. Dark Commission, you know you've made it big when the Chinese rip off your banana hammock before you've even designed it. Yeah, exactly. We'll see. Demonetize, deprive of value for payment. Okay. Demonetized. What are we talking about there? We'll see. You lost me. What are we talking about there? Oh, you're saying, okay, you're saying that Bob Ross, I'm sorry, I missed that initially when you wrote that. That would probably have been demonetized on YouTube. No, I don't think so. I don't think he'd have been demonetized. His message was too positive. There's nothing like, there's nothing wrong, you know. Even back in the day, I mean, like I've probably watched all of his episodes, every single one of his episodes, and they're all pretty much the same. You know, there are some variations because, you know, obviously he likes to explore, but again, like I said, he wasn't who he was, that oil painting. And so, yeah. But yeah, he definitely would be a success today. I would argue. I say he would be huge on YouTube today. 10 years younger and projecting his same positive image. He definitely would be more popular. And as far as getting demonetized, I mean, for what? I mean, you would have to point out a specific example of what he would have done wrong in his shows that would have been wrong today. Because to my memory, he never said anything sexist, racist. He obviously holds a lot of very Christian views, but expressing your viewpoint as far as being in the religion, I mean, you know, he never, to my knowledge, he never said anything homophobic. You know, he didn't say anything that was having a lot of Christian views. He didn't say anything that was anti-Islam or, you know, any other religion. You know what I mean? Like, there was, like, again, you would have to point it out to me. Cite an example of when he said something that was disparaging of another person. That would be something that today, if he was on YouTube, that would get him demonetized. And I can't think of anything. Where the hell am I? Dark Commission. My oil period was years before the internet. Someone said I painted oils like watercolor painter. Oh, interesting. Send me a picture of like your work, Dark Commission. I don't know if I think you've sent in pictures of your work, but send some more. Send me some pictures of your pieces from way back in the day. I'll share them. Or if you don't want to share them. Peep Eater. What lube before banana hammocks? What lube? Well, airbrush lube works just fine. Airbrush your... I don't know where we're going with that. Johnny's Chop Shop. Have you ever looked at Bob Ross's personal painting, not the ones done for the show? Actually, no, I'm not. I've not. Because the ones I know he did for the show, he did like 3 paintings. Every episode of his show, he did that painting 3 times. I know that. But as far as his own personal work, no, I'm not that familiar. I mean, maybe I have seen some, but, you know, like I'm not a huge Bob Ross fan. And I'm only really familiar with him because oftentimes when I see other videos, especially within miniature painting, and the comment gets thrown around, he's the Bob Ross of miniature painting. He's the Bob Ross of this. He's the Bob Ross. And it's not just miniature painting. I see that comment get thrown around in various circles outside of wargaming. And personally, I'd actually see it as an insult being called the Bob Ross of whatever. It would be an insult because you're displaying something that is very cookie cutter, that is derivative, right? But like I said, I would argue that Bob Ross's medium wasn't the oil on canvas, it was the camera. That was his medium. So, where the hell am I? Dark Mission. Does anyone remember Paint Along with Nancy? It was in the 70s. No, I don't recall. J Plasma. Hello all. Hello. Ariel. Gotta go. Have a great weekend, Kris and everyone. See you later, Ariel. Scale Model Muse. Nancy Kaminsky. Yep, I recall that one. Johnny Shop Shop. 2,300 people are watching on Twitch right now. Right. On Twitch. Yeah, there's a YouTube channel, or a Twitch channel that just shows Bob Ross and I'm pretty sure I'm following it. Because sometimes I tune in if I'm watching it on Twitch, or because I also have, what does he show up on? Is it Netflix? I think he's on Netflix as well. And I'll just crank it on. Yeah, it's in Netflix. And I'll just turn it on and start going. It's not just background stuff. I mean, I tune in just and watch him paint, you know. It's interesting. And, you know, again, he's always putting forth that positive message. We'll see. Ross would talk about politics, calls them crooked. Well, yeah, that's just true. Politicians are crooked. That's been a truth since before your grandparents were babies. If you don't think that politicians are not crooked, you've got a fucking serious screw loose. Now here's that's not really the crazy part. The crazy part is that we don't do shit about it. That's the crazy part, because like in America, you know, politicians answer to the people. You know? So it's kind of fucking crazy. It's kind of fucking crazy that we just put up with it. We know the politicians are crooked and corrupt, and we don't do anything about it. That's what's crazy. Dark Commission, I don't have any canvases anymore. I gave them all away. If I ever became famous, some lucky folks will be able to cash in on. Sure. Ghost Starman Deluxe. Dark Souls is the Bob Ross of video games. Yeah, that's right over my head. Harry, I think up and running again. Kris, I'm with you on trying new things, as in making your skills and techniques better. I needed a break, so I'm trying Horus 30k instead of Blood Angels 40k. Yeah, and you know, you don't really see a lot of the Sons of Horus color scheme out there. Definitely. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Do it. Have fun. Explore. You know? Don't get caught up in, this is a really great unit, and this is, no, just pick up what looks cool to you, especially if you're coming at it from a painterly type of perspective. You know? Yeah. Don't pollute your head with, you know, all these notions of, that's not a good unit. It just looks cool. I like it. Bought it, you know? And, you know, don't let people tell you how to spend your money. Spend your money however the hell you want. It's your money. You earned it. Hopefully you earned it. I seriously hope you earned it. Scale Model Muse. I bought a Bob Ross puzzle last week at work. So many things with him on them recently. Yeah, well, because they're pushing the brand, and it's a company. And yeah, another 10 years from now, you're going to see Bob Ross soap, and, you know, Bob Ross birth control, and Bob Ross, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, don't be surprised when you see his face or his likeness. I mean, fuck, I've got, where is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, I just tore my freaking shirt. I've got fucking Bob Ross bandages for when I do an ouchie on myself. And I've used them. I've used these. So, you know, Bob Ross. Bob Ross. Bob Ross. Bob Ross. I've got Bob Ross Funkos. That's all I got, Bob Ross. I don't have Bob Ross paintbrushes or anything like that. Bob Ross. I don't think we've said Bob Ross enough of this show. So let's go Bob Ross. Bob Ross. Bob Ross. Hail Bop. Something chaos. I don't know what that means, hail. I don't read emoji. I don't know what that first emoji is. Looks like some sort of anime kind of character. I don't know what that means. I don't read emoji. I don't speak emoji. Johnny Shop. I bet Bob Roth would sell me. My banana hammock would be a happy little accident. Gross. Nathaniel, in my opinion, Bob Ross was more into teaching people painting techniques and inspiring them to paint their own motifs. Sure, yes. As I've said, that was his medium. This talking to you guys, this is an artistic medium. The media is the medium. Is that not sinking in? That was his medium. It wasn't the oil and canvas. It wasn't his positivity. The message of positivity was what his challenging idea he was putting forth. That was Bob Ross's medium. Wasn't the canvas. Hail Bob. It's waving high emoji. Oh, is that what that is? Oh. See? Right over. I don't speak emoji, so. Scale model muse. Haha, nice. Oh, the Bob Ross bandages? Yeah. Harry. Kris, I'm with you on that. Forge World, not cheap, and just buy what you want to paint. But I'm thinking contrast paints. Any suggestions on the greens? With contrast, doing the Horus, that Sons of Horus color scheme? Oh. If you're doing Forge World, I thought Forge World, I'm going to check this site right now. I thought Forge World has that Sons of Horus color. I thought they produce the Sons of Horus color. I could be wrong. Where's Forge World? There's Forge World. The first freaking link. Dumbass. Yes. Come on. Does it ask me all the time what language I freaking want? Just give me the goddamn figs. Paint sets, right? Is it paint sets? I thought they had... okay, maybe I'm wrong. Weathering powders? I know they got the weathering powders. Weathering powder complete sets. But as far as doing Sons of Horus in contrast, what's color? Oh, this shit's pissing me off. Yeah, this is just all the contrast paints. Like, in theory, what color is that? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Let me grab the greens. Is that all the greens? Yeah. Is there 6 greens? There are 6 freaking greens in contrast. I didn't realize that. I mean, I don't pay that much attention, but anyway. Yeah, I thought for sure there was a Forge World color that they made a bottle that was formulated for Sons of Horus. I mean, I'm wrong. I mean, Lupercal Green is on GW site. Oh, it's on the GW site? Okay, so yeah. Thank you, Hail Bob. Is it right on regular GW site? Really? I went to the Forge World site. I looked at the paints. By color. It's what, a green, right? Sons of Horus is Sons of Horus is a green color. I mean, oh yeah, Sons of Horus green. It's in the Citadel Air, and that's that green. It's like there was an old guide that showed. I think it was on the Forge World site on how to do their color, and it's a green. It was like shit. I can't remember. I did a tutorial on it in Mini Wargaming on the Sons of Horus in the 30K, painting it and mixing your own color. And it essentially was just following the guide, I'm pretty sure, making that color. Because otherwise I would have mixed it in different ratios as far as the blue-green combo. But essentially it's a green with a little bit of blue. It's not quite, all the way to like a turquoise or anything. But yeah, Games Workshop does sell a Sons of Horus green in Citadel Air. Lupercal green in Citadel Air. Okay, so you can base in Lupercal green and then airbrush Sons of Horus on top of that. And that would give you your highs and lows, and then just do a light edging with, is there even a lighter green for that? Probably Gauss Blaster green probably would be a light. There's another Lupercal green. Is Lupercal green a regular color now? Is that why I'm seeing it? I don't know. They change these freaking names all the time. What the fuck is Niblet green? I'm getting mad now. I'm getting angry. my Sons of Horus Green. Okay. Well, that's got to be a newer Citadel color to come out, because, yeah. Now, doing it in contrast, I don't know if you can do it in contrast. Yeah, I mean, I think you probably have to mix it in contrast to do it like that. But if Games Workshop produces the color now, just pick that up. And if you have an airbrush, you can just buy the air versions of it. And I think the air versions come in bigger bottles now. So, yeah. Harry, crap, I stunned you on that one. Yes, they did. Yes, they do, or they did. However, or how about I try to email you on this? Yeah. Jobs left on it. Kris is doing the exercise. Yeah, that's how I get my exercise. I just shake my contrast bottles. Shake my paint. Axel 231. What's your rarest, most expensive Funko Pop? Well, I'm not a huge Funko Pop collector. I have a few Funko Pops, and we've got more upstairs actually, and I think my wife has a bunch in her office. But we collect the Funkos that are dear to us. So, like, for example, my wife has... Oh, you know what? I bought her a Rare Prince one. Yeah, I got her a Rare Prince one. One of the Prince Funkos, because she's a big Prince fan. That's one of the rare ones. But she has, like, Prince and Labyrinth. She loves Labyrinth, the old classic movie, the Jim Henson classic. Yeah, she loves those. Here at the house... Upstairs, my son just picked up the big 10-inch Deadpool, which was the Black Friday special or something like that. So that's a rare one. And they got a bunch of Overwatch, horror, like Freddy, Jason, that kind of stuff. Pickle Rick, stuff like that. We only collect the Funkos that are dear to us. We don't. I don't have. And I'm painting one of my Funkos right there. You can see, I've still got to finish it. You know what? I should probably. Maybe on the next Getting Projects Done, maybe I'll paint my Funko. I'll finish that guy. Anyway. Where the hell am I? Johnny Shop. Have you ever used Winsor Newton Brush Restorer? I use Masters all the time. I was wondering if it's any better. They're all about the same. I mean, yeah, the Winsor Newton Brush Restorer. Is it really thin? The brush restorer I use is Vallejo's. I use Vallejo's brush restorer. Masters, I've never used Masters. I use Masters brush soap, and you can use it as a restorer, but I usually only use Masters brush soap for cleaning and conditioning the brushes. Brush restorer, I don't use very often because, well, once you use it, you kind of don't have to bother using it again unless you completely fuck up a brush. I mean, So I don't use brush restorer very often. I have brush restorer. I've used Vallejo's. Where it is, I have no idea. It's a little bottle. Yeah, I have no idea where my brush. I don't know where my shit is. I've got shit all over the place. I have no idea where it's. Anyway, yeah, and you only have to use it a few times, and you've restored your brush. That's the job, right? And as long as you maintain your brushes, as long as you take care of your brushes, you don't have to use Restorer very often at all. Unless you, I'm trying to think of scenarios where you would have to use Restorer all the time, that you have to have Restorer out. I use Vallejo. I've never used Winsor Newton's. I've only ever used Vallejo's brush Restorer. It's Vallejo's? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Vallejo's. I've only ever used those, so, Even my canvas brushes, like my oil paint brushes, yeah. I use Masters brush soap for that. Or I use oil. That's the other product to use with oil paint brushes. Getting oil paint out, just use oil, and that gets it out. So, you don't don't have to use. But I mean, again, there's many ways to go about. It's just take care of your brushes. You know, it saves you so much effort and time in the long run. Just using proper brush procedures. Dr. Xantos, there's a Warhammer community guide on how to paint the legions with contrasts, and they have a Sons of Horus one too. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, if Games Workshop produced one for contrast on what colors to use to get that color scheme, by all means, use that one. I haven't. I don't paint Sons of Horus, so. Dr. Xantos, it's a thick coat of 1-to-1 mix of Dark Angels green and a Kellyan green. Okay. I would have thought Dark Angels green would have been a little too dark, but I mean, I would have went with Kellyan green because it's got a nice turquoisey, or even Pterodon green. Kellyan green? Yeah, Kellyan green's got like a really nice blue to it, right? Yeah, you only need a little bit of green to make that like that Sons of Horus color. Yeah, see, I probably wouldn't have went. I would have probably went with the mid-tone green. What's that one? The Warp Lightning. I probably would have went Kellyan green with a bit of Warp Lightning to try and get there. Because I would have figured Dark Angels green being too dark. But if that's what they're saying, and that's what color matches to what they want, or how they want it to look. Because let's be honest, it's their color scheme. You know what I mean? Like, up until the point where they had these new paints, you had to mix it yourself to get that color scheme because it was completely made up, right? And so, because 30K became so popular and the Sons of Horus became so popular that, you know, they figured, well, they're missing out on money selling a paint designed for everybody out there who wants that particular shade. So, you know, money. Dark Commission, I want a Lemmy Funko. Yeah, there's a Lemmy Funko coming out, right? And same with what's the little icon, the little Motorhead icon? He's coming out as well. I seen that. Aaron Seach, Kris, ever get your Bandai Space Marine? No, it hasn't been shipped yet. I'm anxiously waiting on my Space Marine. Yeah, because I have plans for my Space Marine. Dark Commission, I still have my Winsor Newton oil painting brushes. I use ordinary bathroom soap, and still in excellent shape. Yeah, you can use regular soap. I've got my, is it here? I don't know why I keep looking back here. I can't ever find my shit. No, I think my soap is with my other brushes because I got a big puck of Masters because I use this soap here all the time for my regular miniature brushes. I use this little tub, and I like this little tub. It's nice, you know, compact. But I've got a big puck one for my other paintbrushes. It's just like a big round one. I thought I had. Oh yeah, it is right here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I've got this big puck one for my oil paint brushes. Anyway, that squeaky chair. I got to get a new chair. It's after the video camera. That's my next upgrade, the video camera. And yeah. Anyway, Hobby Man, hello. Hello, Hobby Man. Dr. Xantos, email time? Yeah, holy shit, it's 1:30? No. Really? It's 1:30? Come on. Nathaniel at Aaron, I thought that was only available late March 2020. Is it March? Are they saying? I know they said when it was going up for pre-order, it was going to be available first quarter 2020. So when? Don't know. Maybe before Adepticon. Maybe they'll get released. Either way, I already bought mine. I haven't gotten it. I've checked for rumors and stuff like that as far as like a possible release date and stuff like that. I haven't seen anything yet. Aaron Seach, wow, those were up for pre-order a while ago. Didn't realize they haven't been released yet. No, they haven't been released yet. Michael Fox, hey man, stash is looking pretty nice. Thank you, Michael Fox. Thank you. Even though at the beginning of the show I was talking about lopping all this shit off. Johnny's Chop Shop. Please do a tutorial on proper brush cleaning for beginners. I thought I have one on my channel. Do I not have one? Are you not entertained? I don't know. Somebody much smarter than me, please let me know. But Hail Bob. Well, Johnny, I will do another proper brush care video. And actually now I'm thinking maybe I should do it before, because there's another video that I'm working on, just kind of solidifying, like I'm writing the script for it, that I'm going to do. And it's going to be kind of in a similar vein as what, I don't know, Johnny, if you're a Patreon member, but I think you are, aren't you? Anyway, I recently did combating burnout and nostalgia, and so it's going to be kind of a similar video like that. But I actually probably should do an updated video of brush care because it's related. Anyway, yeah. Gears. The gears are turning now. But I'm pretty sure I did one on my channel that was recent on doing brush care, but maybe I didn't. Anyway, Hail Bob. Bandai takes a bit to get going. Sure, I'm fine, because it's going to be a fantastic piece. It better be. Making me wait this fucking long, but I trust in Bandai. I trust Bandai. I'm a big Bandai fan. Michael Fox, nice. Nathaniel, Kris, March 31st, 2020 is still first quarter. Typical GW. Sure. Johnny's Chop Shop, there already is. Check his fresh tips. Yeah, I thought I did a fresh tip recently, like in the last couple months, on brush care and using brush soap. I thought I did. Nathaniel says I did. I'm going to have to assume he's right, because I'm in my brain. Oh, that feels good. Yeah, I was pretty sure I did. Anywho, let's do an email. Because we should, because holy shit, it's already 1:35. Well, 34 technically, but. So, if you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down, because here it comes. Email time. I don't know why I talk when I know that the music is just blasting. Anyway, email. Scott. This is from our good buddy Scott, titled Burnout. Great chat on Burnout. Oh yeah, because Scott's a Patreon member, so he's talking about the video. That I think this one, the Burnout video, I think this one will go out first. Yeah, I think this one I'm probably going to post it Monday. Anyway, great chat on the Burnout. Agree with everything you said. I do not batch paint. I am a one at a timer from way back. Yeah, same here. If I lose a little focus or can't make up my mind about what to work on next, I keep a bunch of little projects at the ready. Bases, objectives for Necro really help. Here's some stuff I did recently as examples. Great video, Kris. You do need a fire video playing on the screen to go with your sweater. So here is what he is working on. These are little objectives for Necromunda and such. So, a little ammo cache thingy. Actually, that's not Necromunda. That looks more like Infinity or something. Or what are these objectives from, Scott? I don't know. Anyway, really nice. I like the weathering you did on that. You got like the little scratch marks. Oh, it is for 40k. It's a 40k objective? You just made it up, or I don't know. That's the bit I'm not familiar with. Regardless, it's really nice. Nice highlighting. I like the style you use. Really contrasty. Nice blending. And I like the little scratch ticks on the surface. I like the tone on the wood here. You got the light brown with the gray. Very cool. Nice greens. Got really nice blending. Do you do like a wet on wet, or do you glaze it? Is that how you do your blends, or your color blends? See, personally for me, I'd probably do that as a wet on wet. And just do a rough wet blend, and then maybe glaze a few corners on it, and then just do a slight edging. But very, very cool. And it's a very interesting choice to highlight it left to right as opposed to up and down. Do you do your miniatures that way? Like if you did a Space Marine, would you paint it left to right? Bright to dark? Does anybody do that? Try it next time. And that's for everybody out there. See how Scott's done this? How he's gone left to right with the color blend, and then he edges it in a typical fashion, highest points. You can see like on the bottom portion. It almost looks like on the broad face of it, it looks like a face. It looks like it's smiling. It's got 4 eyes and a big long smile. And he's got the little nose. It's kind of making me giggle now. Anyway, yeah. It's like Homer with the squirrel. Squirrel. I can't do a high-pitched squeal. No, I can't do it. Anyway. Very, very cool, Scott. Thank you for sending that in. Really awesome stuff. Yeah, and do you do? Have you ever done that? Left to right? Has anybody done that? Is there any examples of that? If there is, somebody send me an email showing me some examples of a left to right kind of scheme like that, where it starts off bright, not in an OSL fashion. I'm not talking about OSL. I'm talking about just the broad highlights where you start predominantly brighter color on one side, going darker, but you still edge highlight in a fashion that is, top down kind of thing. Does that make sense for anybody? Cumple Blaze 86. Hi, Kris. Spelled my name wrong. Do you think a tank on an air compressor of an airbrush is really necessary? Can't decide what to buy. Do I think it's necessary? No. Is it super handy? Yes. Would I recommend buying an airbrush with the the air tank on it? Yes. I've used the airbrush compressor that had no tank before. And when I was trying to do finer, closer in, I found that motor cycle, you could see it coming out onto the model. You could see the like that. Now, maybe it was just a shit compressor I was using at the time, but I find the compressors with the air tanks on them, and you can probably see my compressor down here. This guy right here. See? It's got the tank on it. Anyway. That was a bit of a workout to lift it one arm. It's heavy. Anyway, with the tank, with the air pressure, because the tank or the motor fills the tank, and then the tank gives you your air pressure, and then the tank just tops it off. And when you're getting your airflow from the tank, it's much more consistent. It's just constant, psst, right? As opposed to just direct from the motor. It's, and you can see it, especially when you're turning your PSI down and you're trying to get in close and you're trying to do some fine stuff. You have that. You can see that it comes out like that. You can see those cycles of the air. It's kind of like puff, and it's puffing the air out. Also, the other thing is that your air compressor without the tank runs longer. And if you're doing a whole bunch of airbrushing, that motor's going to get really, really hot. And motors, when they get really, really hot, it kind of shortens their lifespan. So, whereas that compressor, and as long as all your fittings are nice and tight and there's no air leakages or anything like that thing doesn't kick in very often. And it's only really big priming sessions that I have run that motor really hard, usually with a majority of my painting. Now, mind you, I'm not doing armies at a time. I'm not doing squads at a time. So I know people out there who are going through larger amounts of it may notice different things. So, but personally, I would recommend finding a compressor with that tank. But it's not necessary. You can find if you can find a good deal on a compressor that doesn't have that tank, and it's within your price point, then by all means pick that up. But if you can hold off and save your pennies a little bit longer and maybe pick up one with a tank, I would recommend that. So hopefully, Kumple Blaze, despite spelling my name wrong, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. Nathaniel, Wally of ammo boxes. I don't know what that means. Dark Commission, nice markers. Yeah. Johnny's Chop Shop. The sound effects are killing me. What the? Well, I could. Oh, I mean, okay. Here, some ASMR for you because my compressor's on right now. Like, do I have my old compressor that? You know what? I think I left that at the office. I left that at Mini Wargaming. I don't think I have that anymore. Anyway, here, listen to how the airflow sounds. Yeah, because I already blew the cap off earlier in the show. But listen to the airflow. See, you can hear how it's very consistent. Now, if it was just the motor, and if I could show you right now, I would. The difference, because there is a difference. This is still on, right? Yeah, it's still on. I'm going to turn it off because I don't want that kicking in while I'm doing the show. I always leave it on. I forget to turn it off. Oh, I know. Bad, Kris. Bad. And I'm trying to think what the hell I was last airbrushing. Oh, I was priming. Stuff. Anyway. Cumble. Thanks. Sorry for the name. Yeah, no worries. No worries, man. It's not like I'm deeply offended or anything like that. People do it all the time. I've gone my entire life with people saying, Kris, how do you spell your name? And then I say Kris, and they go, wait, with a K? How unusual. And it's kind of weird because Kris is the masculine form for spelling Kris. Christopher. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyway. Nathaniel, the air tank is the first stage of pressure regulation. Yes. If that kind of thing is concerning to you, yes. But yeah, I mean, like but with a compressor with no tank, because I used to airbrush with a compressor with no air tank on it, and when I was trying to come in closer to the model, I could see the pattern because of the cycles of the motor. Anyway, could have been just maybe the compressor I had. Maybe other compressors out there have a finer tuning of throwing that air out, but yeah, save your pennies and go for one with a tank. Next email is from Joseph, and this is a question on brushes, and this is just a question he had sent it. Now, I saved it for the show. He had sent me this email. I don't know if he watches regularly, but anyway, Joseph. Hi, Kris. I have a question. I have both Citadel Layer medium brush and a Citadel brush medium brush. Citadel brush base medium brush. Which should I use for contrast paints? It's my first time using contrast paints. Thanks for your help. Okay, so you have the medium layer brush. The medium layer brush. Hold on. Let me grab my assortment of brushes here. He's got the medium layer brush, which should be this brush. That's the medium base brush. Yeah, and you got the layer medium brush. Which one's the layer medium brush? The Citadel layer medium brush, which is that brush? No, it's the Artificer brush. Hold on, folks. I'm trying to get my shit organized here. That's a shade brush. That's glaze. That's Artificer. Holy fuck. Citadel layer medium brush. The medium layer brush. It's the base brush. Okay, so anyway, I have the medium base brush, which is this brush, right? And for doing contrast paints using one of these, you should be fine. Most of the time, I can't find I thought I had it, but I guess I don't. A layer brush. I'm going to look on the website. Fuck. Which one that is? I thought I had it, but apparently I don't. So brushes, layer, medium layer, right? Oh, that looks it's just a smaller base coating brush. Okay, if you're going for finer details, yeah, you can use the layer brush. If you're going for much larger surfaces, you can use the medium brush, sure. Most of the time when I'm applying contrast paints, I use the shade brush. I use the medium shade brush. And this is what I use most of the time when applying contrast paints on almost all surfaces. On really large surfaces, I would recommend the large shade brush. So realistically, when applying the contrast paints, I would use the shade brushes if we're sticking with Citadel brushes. Now, obviously, I mean, you want to use watercolor brushes if you're buying outside of Citadel. You want to use watercolor brushes. This brush here that I use, this is more like a two in watercolor, and this is a 1/2 inch flat. And these are both, and they're watercolor brushes. So I would recommend watercolor brushes. But yeah, I would use the shade brushes if you're going to stick with Citadel and it's your first time painting. Yeah. Now you could use the medium, what is it? The medium layer brush, and you could use the Citadel medium brush. You totally can use those brushes. But again, it's all dependent upon what you're painting. Now, using the Citadel layer brush, the Citadel layer medium brush, I would only use that for fine things, or if I was doing fine lines. But that's probably, if you're just getting started, I wouldn't worry about doing fine lines. But you definitely can use that layer brush to do fine things, like for example, getting into the eyes of like Space Marine helmets, or picking out icons, or with contrast paints. But as far as doing most of the heavy lifting on the model, like doing most of the surface, yeah, I use the Citadel shade brush, the medium shade brush. That's what I use for a majority of my contrast work. Other than using essentially using a medium layer brush, which is about this size. Then this is what I use a lot. This brush here I use a lot. I actually do eyes with this brush. This is a heavy metal brush. I was talking about this brush on getting projects done yesterday, and this is what I use all the time. This brush, I like this brush. It's got nice long bristles. It's more like a 1 in watercolors, or a 0. It's a 1 or a 0. It's more like that. So hopefully, Joseph, that helps. I'm going to send you an email just saying that I answered your question, and tune into this show. Hopefully that helps, Joseph. Any comments? Am I missing? Dark Commission, wouldn't the brush depend on the size of coverage required? The only specialist brush I use is a dry brush. Wouldn't the brush depend on the size of coverage? Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah, it definitely requires. But I mean, most of the time I use that shade brush when I'm painting Space Marines, like just regular figures. Yeah, I use that to apply. With contrast paints, because it's applied like a shade wash over the miniature, you're working pretty fast, and you're using a fairly generous amount as you're moving it across the surface. So you load that brush fairly with quite a bit of contrast paint, and you apply it onto the surface pretty fast. So you grab it, move it, grab it, move it, and yeah, if you're using a small layer brush on large surface, it's not going to work. You want a larger brush. But I find with that brush, because it's got a nice long bristle length, that it just moves across the surface, and it's got a nice firm bristle to it that I can just push it along and move the paint wherever I want. I just prefer that brush when I do it. It's just how I work. The larger shade wash brush for doing, say, like a tank, I really wouldn't recommend contrast paint for tanks. It's really not its strong suit. I've got a bunch of videos on that. if you want to click over there. It's really not the strong suit of contrast. It's not what it's made for. And it's really not efficient to do contrast on large surfaces. Like if you're doing a Land Raider in contrast paints, you totally can do it. But it's not what it was made for, and it's not the strong suit. And people act like it's a failing of the paint. It's not a failing of the paint. It's just what it's not designed for. You know what I mean? Use the tool appropriate. And spray paint, doing large surfaces. If you have a giant ass vehicle and you're painting the model with, you know, a tiny ass brush, that's inefficient, right? That doesn't make sense. You wouldn't do that. So why would you use a paint that it's not designed for that purpose? You know, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So anyway, Nathaniel, how do GW brushes compare to other brands? For the most part, GW brushes are fine. They're good. They're a synthetic sable blend. For the most part, they're a blend brush. They have good spring. They're soft. They're akin to a watercolor brush. I use Artist Opus brushes all the time. I only ever use the one. I don't use any other Artist Opus brushes. I have the other ones, but I don't use them. You can see this brush here. You can see how dirty it is on the handle. I use it all the time for stuff. It's a good brush. It's akin to a watercolor brush. I mean, they're all watercolor brushes. If you're going out looking for brushes, look in the watercolor section, and I would highly recommend you stay within natural sable hairs. Kolonsky sables are a premium. Winsor Newtons. I have Winsor Newtons. I hardly ever use my Winsor Newtons. I have Winsor Newton miniature series. I have 0 to 000. I hardly ever use them. You know, most of my painting, a majority of my painting is this heavy metal brush. It's a Games Workshop brush. It's a standard brush. I do eyes with this. So, you know, again, it's not the tool. It's not the tool that's going to make you a better painter. But recognizing good tools, that comes with experience. So, but I have no issues with Games Workshop brushes. Are they expensive? Yeah. But have you ever shopped for good paintbrushes? They're expensive. Artist Opus brushes. They're a premium price tag. Winsor Newton, premium price tag. I know it's been recommended. Raphael and Da Vinci. And, I've got these other ones here. These are really good. I bought these actually on the cheap. They're a Russian brand. I have not used them too much. But, yeah, I've got these ones here. Rubelov, yeah. I've got these ones, Rubelovs. And these are fine tip brushes. I don't use them too often. Again, because I do eyeballs with that Citadel brush. So I don't really use these fine tipped brushes too often. Because I do a majority of my work with that Citadel brush. Even when I'm doing, like I did the checkers videos, I'm pretty sure I was using that standard brush. It's a standard brush. It's a GW standard brush. So, you know, yeah, these Rubelovs, it's a 1 to a 0 to a 00. 00? 00. I thought I had a 000. Was there 000? I look around like I'm going to find it. I'm pretty sure it was just, but yeah, these are Rubelovs, and these weren't that expensive, and these are sables, and they come to a really nice point. They're really nice, but I haven't used them much because, again, I don't, you know, it's not necessary. I picked them up because they weren't that expensive as far as sable hairs are concerned. But yeah, I have the Artist Opus brushes. I don't use the Artist Opus. Well, I only use the one. I don't even use what they got, the 0, 000. They got 00. Yeah, they got a 000. They got a 00. They have a 0, right? And they got a 2. I've used the 2 quite a bit, but that was just more for base coating. But the 1, I use the Artist Opus 1 all the time for all sorts of stuff. And I do eyes with that brush as well. So, you know, take from that what you will. You know? I'm familiar with Raphael and Da Vinci brushes. The Raphael 8404, I think, is what the particular brand. I know that one gets recommended a lot. I use Rubelov. I've used that a little bit, just a little bit. I've not used DaVinci or Raphael. I've been meaning to get a set to play with because I know those come highly recommended, and they're not terribly priced. I think actually very affordable, I think, for a set of them. I see them on Amazon all the time for like $30 for like 3, or maybe it's 5. And they look good. They look the shit. So, you know. But yeah. Where am I? Greenleaf Train. Kris, do the no pants dance. It's not that kind of channel. Adam, what kind of channel do you think this is? Scale Model Muse. I have one GW brush that I bought, the dry brush. Gods, I'd love to have Klinsky brushes, handmade brushes. I was gifted a DaVinci. I'm afraid to use it. Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid to use it. One of my favorite Winsor Newton brushes. Where is it? Yeah, right here. Huge thank you to everybody that helped me get this brush. Winsor Newton was doing a promotion. Basically, you know, just like thumb up the video. They were doing like a social media promotion. And so I got this Winsor Newton brush. This is probably one of my favorite possessions, my prized possessions. So it's a Winsor Newton Series 7, okay? And hold on. Let's do this properly. Let me adjust my camera here. This camera? Yeah, this camera, right? Yeah. Oop, that might have buggered things up. Anyway, here, let's adjust the focus. There we go. And it says Way of the Brush. It is a Way of the Brush Winsor Newton. So, take that. Oh, shit. I messed that up again. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, it's exhausting. Anyway, I'm sweating. I'm hungry. I think that's what it is. I'm hungry. But anyway, that's one of my prized possessions is that Winsor Newton. And I have all you guys to thank for that because some of you that helped me with that one because it was like the comment and like it and they basically would do it. And so would I love Winsor Newton to do a Way of the Brush series? I think if I could get them to do one brush, it'd be probably a number 1. Number 1 or a 0. Just the one brush. Just the one brush. Because that's all I use is one brush. It's a 1. If I'm using Artist Opus, it's the number 1. If it's Citadel, it's the standard brush. And it does almost all my painting. Yeah, Ghost of Starman Deluxe. That's exactly it. This is the way. It is the way. This is the way. And I only use the one brush. So if I was going to convince Winsor Newton to do a brush for me, maybe I should. Maybe I should get in contact with them. See if they'll do me a brush. A Way of the Brush brush. Way of the Brush brush? Brush? A brush. We'll see. Yeah, my expensive brushes are hidden someplace. I use 10-cent brushes and an Iwata airbrush with Vallejo air paints on everything. Yeah. And when you use an airbrush, I mean, Iwata's great. Badger's great. That's the 2 big names that come to mind. And I think there's a few others, you know. Airbrush. Yeah, you want to, and I mean, spending $200 on an airbrush, people go, well, $200 on a brush, but I mean, as long as you take care of it, it'll last you. And you have to take care of those brushes, airbrushes or regular brushes. You have to take care of your brushes. And if you spend $50 on a brush, which you totally easily can on a bristle brush, and you don't take care of it, you're kind of foolish. And, you know, again, thinking that you buy these really expensive brushes going, oh, well, this is what everybody's talking about. I'm going to use these brushes. And your painting is not where you think it should be. It's not the brush. Again, the thing that is going to make you a better painter, okay, you all have in abundance and really doesn't cost you anything, at least money-wise. Doesn't cost you money. And it's the one thing that's going to make you all a great painter is time, practice. Put in the time, put in the practice. That is what's going to make you a great painter. It is not the paint. It is not the brushes. It's not the model. It's not any outside source that's going to make you a great painter. It's time and practice. That's it. It's as simple as that. And I've been saying that for so many years. So many people are caught up in, oh, they use this paint. Oh, they use this brush. You ain't going to get those results. They're going to get those results. But you're not going to get those results. You have to put in time. They put in the time to get and develop their painting abilities. So when you follow particular artists and think, oh, well, he used this paint, so I'm going to use that paint, and I'm going to be great like that. No, you're fucked in the head. You're not going to get the same results. You have to put in the time. And that's it. That's the only thing that separates you from those other painters that you follow on Instagram and Facebook and everything like that. That's the only thing that separates you from them. Is time. You have to put in the time. That's it. It's as simple as that. And expand your knowledge, of course. Grim. My first brushes would be dollar store brushes, which I use. To me, price doesn't mean much at my current skill level. Sure. And that's where you want to go, right? I mean, like some people, like I've said this many times, I've seen people use craft store, dollar store paints to great effect. They weren't designed for miniatures, but they use those paints and use them well. Use dollar store brushes. Just shitty ass, cheap ass brushes. Maybe trim them up to go for some precision. It's not the tool, it's the artist. But anyway. Holy carmoles, my coffee's cold. Oh my God. Yeah, Ghost Starman looks though. This is the way. This is the way. That show resonates so much with me. The Mandalorian is what I'm talking about. I love that show. It's such a great show. And yeah. Anyway. Nathaniel. No master has fallen from the sky. No master has fallen from the sky? No master has fallen from the sky. No. You all have to put in your time. You all have to put in your time. You want to be great? Time. That's it. There's no shortcuts in this. And I think that's why this hobby is so niche. And that's why I think even to this day, this hobby really is struggling. Even in this day and age, this hobby is struggling. Because there's no quick fixes. There's no quick, easy answer to this hobby. You have to put in time. The knowledge is out there. But you have to put in the time and effort to learn. People don't want to do that. Don't want to. Because they're lazy motherfuckers. They're all lazy. All looking for that quick, easy answer. It ain't out there. It ain't out there. No, I'm wrong. It is out there. It's coming. And I've talked about this one too. Is the sky falling? 3D printing. Printed. Colored. 3D printing. That's the easy. Just don't do it, right? Just don't paint. Just get your models printed in color, and soon enough, they'll be printed in the color schemes of famous painters. You know, you want it like a particular artist? Yeah, you can get it printed that way. It'll come up that way. And there we go. We got the 3D printed model in that color scheme. Bang, done. Is it the end of painting miniatures? No. Some might argue it is. I might even almost argue that it is, but I don't think so. Like I said, it's like when photography came out and portrait artists. Did it kill portrait artists? Maybe for a time, but there was a resurgence. You know, again, nostalgia. Is nostalgia a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. So many questions. You know, there's so many directions that, you know, these things all can go, you know. So, anyway. Hail Bob. I'm getting some oils and spirits to learn the Blanche-esque style of painting. Sure. Sure. TH. I bought a handful of Capel series brushes by accident, but I really do like them better than anything else. I'm not familiar with that one. Or maybe, no, I don't think I'm that familiar with that one. Send me that. Email me. We'll see. Contrast paints. Contrast paints? What about contrast paints? They're the end all be all paints? No. Not by a long shot. Are they the end of miniature painting? No. By God, no. Contrast paints? No. Are really great. Are really great. I like contrast paints. Are they going to end miniature painting? No, you still have to put in the time to paint your miniatures. I'm talking about 3D painting, 3D printing. That's going to be. We want to go Chicken Little on this? That's where we can go. You want to talk Chicken Little. If you want to talk some doomsday scenarios, that's where it's at. Contrast paints? No, it's another tool in the toolbox. It's only going to make you a better painter. It's only going to make you a better painter. If you took the time to learn contrast paints and incorporate it into more traditional type painting, oh, it's fantastic. I like contrast paints. They're fantastic. I was painting yesterday. I was getting projects done on Twitch. I do it on Fridays. I'm gonna try and keep doing it Fridays. And I was making the joke, and I was painting, if anybody was tuned into that, I was making the joke that contrast paints are a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Anyway, it's a bit of nerding out there. Dark Commission. The patina on the inside of your coffee mug shows great age, wisdom, and love. If my mug was like yours, I'd be a better painter. Yeah, you think this is all coffee and tea? That's not all coffee and tea, people. That's contrast paints. I just fuck it. Yeah, shit. There's a little bit of coffee left in there. It's cold, but waste not, want not. Oh. Steals the wool. Anybody who's a coffee drinker, drank cold coffee, the last little swallow out of your cup. You know what I'm talking about there. Steals. Anyway, Greenleaf Terrain. Kris, 3D printing never hurt my business. Everyone can print their own terrain. Yet, I am busier than I have ever been. Exactly, right? Exactly. It's just the incorporation and being afraid of technology. I think that really is why we, these new things, and we go, oh no, it's going to be the end of this, and oh no, and everybody jumps on the doomsday wagon. But yeah, just like Adam's saying here, 3D printing. Everybody can 3D print their terrain, yet there's Adam. He is a thriving business within creating terrain, the old-fashioned way of taking material and putting it together and making something entirely new. And I think that's where, being actual artist, is going to, be okay for people who can actually have the talent, like Adam, who can actually create something for you. Adam is the kind of guy you can say, well, I want this kind of terrain, I want these kind of colors, and you know what I mean? And, how fast can you get it done? Because he's mastered his materials and he has the skill set behind to create your vision for you. It's going to be no time at all. Imagine trying to do it on a 3D printer. Then the 3D printer fails. You got to sculpt it still. You got to create it. Oh, no, no. If you want to, mass produce something, sure. But if you want a work of art, you want something original, you get an artist. You get an artist to create it for you. You want something with some value. 3D print, once the file's made, there's a million copies of it. A million other people have it. Big whoop. But anyway. We'll see. I'm just having a laugh. Contrast paints were kind of sold as the end all. No, that was people's opinion put onto that. Because I was there at the beginning with the contrast paints. When contrast paints was released, you might have seen a Games Workshop video with my face on it. No, it wasn't being sold as the end all. It was the end of gray plastic. Because it's encouraging people who don't paint that often as a solution to help people get their armies painted. It wasn't the end all be all of painting. How that got twisted around, I don't know. That's just because people are fucking morons. But yeah, no, contrast paints weren't being sold as the end all be all of paints, because they otherwise Games Workshop would have dropped all their other colors, right? If contrast paints was being sold as the end all be all of paints, GW, who are the biggest cats in the playground, that's mixing metaphors there, but anyway, they would have just got rid of all their paints, right? Put all their eggs in one basket, said, no, contrast paints, it's the way of the future. It's the way of the future. That's what they would have said if it was the end all be all paints. It's the way of the future. It's how everybody's going to be painting their paints or painting their models. Contrast paints. And we would have had, 100 shades of whatever in contrast. But they didn't. Why? Because they know that particular medium isn't how it works. So, yeah. Greenleaf Terrain. Yeah, Kris, I was there at the beginning. Haha. Yes, you were, old man. I was there in the beginning. Job is left nut. Taking from experience, it's taken 15 years for a wide format printer to kill print industry. Right. And yet silk screening's still around, right? We have large format printers that can direct garments, right? You can run a t-shirt through those printers and they can print a design right on a t-shirt. But silk screening's still around. People still want silk screened because there's a certain aspect to it, So, yeah. I think it's inherently our techno fear. The fear of things that are new and strange, that we immediately go, oh my God, and it's the end of days immediately. And I think that's just human nature. We're just always going to do that. I think it's, I've talked about this in the past, it's like the little, the monkeys, fearing, well, something new, and it's that primitive mindset. We're not coming at it logically. We're not coming at it from a headspace of, logic. We have to be very logical about these things. Nathaniel, all right, folks, got to go. See ya on the flip side. What side? Just the flip side? The other side? In the upside down? You're going to see us in the upside down. I would never go to the upside down. Fuck that place. That place is freaky. Holy shit, it's 2:15. Jeez Louise. Man, I still got emails to do. So, you know what? Let's do another email. If you're wearing headphones, turn them up or down, because here it comes. Email time. Email time. This one is from our good buddy Coma. Kaoma. Coma? I can't remember what it is. How are we supposed to be saying that? Is that Coma? I think it's Coma, right? Anyway, Kaoma. K-O-M-M-A? Is it K-O-M-M-A? Are you a big MMA fan? Or were you? I seen your hands in the pictures there, and you got some big mitts. So maybe were you a boxer, KO? I'm just going to say KO from now on, because I think you were knocking motherfuckers out. Anyway, hey, Kris, here's some of the things I've been working on in the last few days. I don't have the best camera, so the pics are what they are. All of them are painted, but a few need to be based. Best regards, Coma? Kaoma? Oh, fuck. Anyway, and KO posts a lot in Discord, so if you want to keep up with what KO is doing. Coma? Fuck, I don't know. Anyway. These are fantastic. I really enjoy what he's been posting lately. And it's various techniques. He's really great in laying out these going for these really nice, vibrant color schemes. And so we've talked about quite a bit as far as what his paint jobs, and he just the way he's going about things, just really fantastic. And I think these pictures are fine. I love this guy on the right, little nurgling busting out of his gut. Oh, you know what? That would make an awesome shirt. Wouldn't that make an awesome shirt that looks like a nurgling is busting out of your chest? Somebody write that down. A nurgling busting out of a chest would make an awesome shirt. Almost everything out of Nurgle could be made into some sort of IP property or, you know, some sort of gimmick. Nurglings are just too much damn fun. I want Nurgle. I want my plush Nurglings, god damn it. I'm getting mad again. Oh, love the fire. Oh, shit, what's that? Oh. Love the fire. That's really good, dude. I love those transitions. How'd you do those transitions in there? Yeah, it's a nice bit of layering in there. Some glazing. It's really, really nice. I like the tone. That deep red. You don't even see the red tones. They're very subdued. In fact, it goes from that orange to that darker tone. I like that. I may steal that. I like that. I may steal that transition. I kind of like that style. Where'd you borrow that from? Did you make that up or did you borrow that from somebody else? That's really cool. I like the tone on the middle guy. Like that really sickly pale yellowy tone. I like that. I like the cloth. Really nice painting though, dude. I like. And you seem to be pumping out a lot of models, like because I keep an eye on what you've been posting on Discord and stuff, and you know you do a lot of painting, dude. Like I'm a little jelly that you get so much painting done. I'm a little jelly. I'm not that jelly, but I'm a little jelly. I like these guys. These guys are good. Do you experiment a lot with your technique, or do you just kind of just get things done kind of thing? Yeah, it's really good. I like this one. I think these ones with the blue, like I like the red and yellow, like from the other earlier pictures there. I like the colors. I think going a bit more subdued, so they're not so vibrant and conflict with the Nurgle scheme. Because the Nurgle scheme has lots of colors and brown, like greens and browns, and they all kind of have this really kind of, like there's this really kind of textured blending going on, and the wings feel like they almost kind of are fighting against the rest of the color scheme, with the red and yellow or the blue. And I feel like if you went with something a bit more subdued, I think would have worked really well. Little blue Nurgling. I like that guy. I like him. Yeah, really good stuff, okay? Coma? Is it Kaoma? Coma? I'm going to give myself an aneurysm trying to figure that shit out. Anyway, let me jump over to the comments really fast here. Dark Commission. Yeah, really nice painting. I like. They all look so vibrant. You see so dark and muddy minis. Yeah. No, I really like them. I really like. Yeah. And Coma Ko. Fuck. What is it? How am I supposed to be saying that handle? Because he's got a K.O. So is it Ko, or is it Coma, or is it KOMMA? Because if you go onto the Discord, there's a couple pictures where you see K's fingers, his hands. He got some big mitts on him. He's got some big man hands. And I don't know how I would be able to manipulate the fine tools that we use all the time if I had great big honking mitts. But I got another buddy, Tyler. He's been in a few videos, and he's got some big honking mitts on him too. And I don't know how he paints miniatures, because he's been painting miniatures for a very long time as well. And I don't know how he does it either. But anyway. Okay, another email, because we can, and we got it. I've been really great the last little bit. I toot my own horn. I've been really great. I've been good for keeping up with the emails lately. So, yeah, I want to keep that trend going. This is from our good buddy Legion. Hi, Kris. I managed to finish my 4th Pyre Guard model, and I also did some touch-ups on the Apothecary that I painted 2 years ago. Greetings from Germany, Legion Miniatures. And so let's have a look at his work. Oh, yeah. I like these bases. Yeah, that's right. Because he was asking about, like a lot of texturing on the armor. And I like the texturing he's got going on. I like this highlighting. I can see him definitely developing that style. It seems to be a lot of people are doing this style lately with the stippling. I'm noticing a lot of really great painters out there, and they're doing this more stippling style of painting on their miniatures. They're not going for these really smooth blends anymore. They're going for this textured look, which, you know, I think is really cool. I like it. I like it. Nice and clean. Super contrasty. Oh, yeah, look at that. I like that. I like the shield. Immediately, my eye goes to that head and the shield. Really nice. I kind of like the contrast of that, of the green, where the green is kind of pristine, and the gold, the metal, has got a slight texturing and has got that weathering on it. I like that contrast, that visual contrast. I would keep going with that. I like the style of this guy. I like that blue, or the blue, the green, how the green is very kind of, like if you push those highlights a little further, almost to the point of kind of having like the, like that artificial shining, where it looks like a shiny surface. And then you had that metal to be very textured and, you know, would be visually interesting. Yeah. I like this model. This is very cool. Yeah, like the very clean highlights on the green, and then you have that very textured surface. I think that's the model, right? Because these are resin models. And it really makes on the golds of the armor, it makes that texture very apparent. But I like that. I like that visual difference, because it doesn't show up on the green areas, because the color just dominates that, whereas the light plays on that gold because of the nature of the metallic paint, right? I like that. I like what you're doing. I like where you're going. Yeah. That first model that you did, and that had kind of like that stippling texturing on the armor. Let me go back to that image. Keep playing with that as well. Because, yeah, I noticed like you got some weathering on the feet. And maybe, like, is that a way of maybe showing, like, the age of guys? Like, some guys are in the older armor, and so their armor is more textured, and the other guys are kind of newer. Right? Because he's in a, Mark 5 suit, and this guy's in a Mark 4? Mark 3? Is that the kind of vibe you're going for? I don't know. I'm just asking. I like it. Like, visually, like, it's very interesting to go for. Especially within your army. Especially if you had, like, a whole collection of these guys on the go. Like, I think that's very, very cool. Definitely. Okay. Last email we're doing. And it's from our good buddy, Dr. Xantos. Dr. Xantos. Gotta click it. Are these both the same email? Hold on. Because he was having issues earlier. And yeah, I think it's the same thing. So we're going to read the last one he sent. Because it looks like they're the same, but they have different subject headings. I don't know. Either way. Yeah, this is from our good buddy, Dr. Xantos. Greetings, Kris. I bring you pictures of my block toads and random pervert who survived the destruction of the old world. I should have posted these a long time ago, but for some reason forgot about them. Great shame upon me for that. The cloak took me 4 hours. Oof. Also, the gun always all feel to have an everlasting scream going on. The pervert's skin looks weird because I forgot it was supposed to be a breastplate and not skin, and it was a fast job because I felt like painting it and didn't have that much of plan with it. That's about it. Keep it up, Dr. Xantos. And so, Dr. Xantos, 4 hours of work here. Let's go back to this picture. Yeah, there we go. I love the deep purple. I like the tone. Yeah, I really like that. Nice and rich. Oh, yeah. Nice work on that, on the loin plate cloth thing. I don't know what the fuck it is. Really nice attention to those details there. The filigree. I don't know if that's what those areas are called, but yeah. Now, is that metal blue, or is that just like a cast of light? I think it's blue armor, isn't it? The metal's blue. Very, very cool. Yeah, I like that. That purple and that blue armor. The really warm quality of the gold. Yeah, I like that. Oh, look at these dudes. Immediately, the armor reminds me of RoboCop. I'm not making fun of your paint job. Your paint job is really great. But immediately, the whole vibe of the armor reminds me of RoboCop. I don't know why. Oh, this guy. I like it. It looks really good. Yeah, it's a fast job, right? But looks good. Gets the point across. Yeah, the armor. Yeah, the chest armor is supposed to be done like armor, not flesh. But yeah. And like, if you would have really spent time on that model and kind of deliberately carried forth that concept, you could have went for something really, really out there, which would have been really in the vibe of Chaos as well, and painted that armor in flesh tones and almost look like flesh and armor melding. You know what I mean? Like, it was like his flesh is becoming the armor and he's becoming indistinguishable from that form. That'd be a really fun concept. We've painted. I've shown that a few times, going from flesh to metal, actually going from flesh tones to metallic paint. Nothing hard about it. It's just the two blend. But anyway, but I kind of like the idea, especially within Chaos, especially old school Chaos ideas, where like their arm would meld into their gun. Like those kind of concepts. I've always found those fun. Anywho, thank you, Dr. Xantos, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. I love that purple tone. Yeah, that purple tone looked really great. And the blue of the armor. Now, the blue of the guy, I don't know who that guy is holding the staff thing, the halberd, but are the other guys going to have that blue tone, or is that blue tone only for those, just for that character, I guess? I don't know. Oh, Dr. Xantos saying thanks. Evan full of hockey. Are there Canadians about? Who the fuck's talking about hockey? Who the hell's talking about hockey? Oh, Dr. Xantos, the metal is black, but it looks bluish in that light for some reason. Oh, really? Yeah, it looks, really, that must have been the way that the camera took that picture then. Or wait. Oh, okay, so hold on. Let me go back to this. So there's no difference between that armor there, other than obviously you picked up the gold, right? But then here, it's the same? Okay, that's a trip and a half then. Because yeah, that looks like you went with metallic or a blue metallic, but it looks like a metallic with a blue on it. As opposed to that. That looks like some black metal. Metal. But yeah, really. Wow. Intriguing. Okay. So he doesn't have that blue armor, so yeah, he looks like the rest of the dudes there that look like regular, like RoboCop. Not that I'm calling him RoboCop, I'm just saying. Dr. Santos, oh damn, that would have been neat. Yeah, going from the flesh to the metal. Yeah, like if you would have really kind of, you know, if you thought about it, and kind of really push those kind of ideas, just go for something, just kind of go for it, right? And and do a good, like really kind of build those transitions, really kind of put some effort into it, especially with a character like that, right? Like character pieces, in my way of thinking, even if I was doing a whole army of, whatever's, come to the characters, you spend a bit more time. That's probably an old school kind of idea, right? Because I mean, like if you're just banging out an army of dudes, you kind of just the character, you paint them just the same, right? Whereas for me, I mean, that's probably an old school idea, kind of spend some more time on the characters. Rank and file, bang them out. Tank, bang it out. Character, spend more time, right? I think that's an old school kind of idea, I think. Grim, that black is indeed trippy. Indeed. I concur, Grim. I concur. Holy shit, it's 2:30. I better end this show. Dr. Santos, I can take a more updated pic of the guy in the near future, but yeah, they're supposed to have all black metal armor. Okay, so the armor is supposed to be like a dark metal. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you're done, man. When you're done, send a pic in. Yeah. Always, Doc. Send pics in. That goes for everybody. Send pics. Send pics. Harry, thanks for horse info, and I'm off to pick up my spawn. Have a great weekend. Your spawn. Ebb and flow. I got to teach a class about the War of 1812. How the White House burned down and all that fun. The kids were horrified. I heart history. History is horrifying. It is. And you're starting a goddamn subject here now, because I'm trying to end the show, and you hit something very interesting, which history is horrifying. And for whatever reason, and it's not in the last 10 years or so, it's been happening probably for like the last 40 years, that been whitewashing history, trying to rewrite history and make it more palatable and less brutal. But the past was very brutal, and it was awful. People died. And when you try and whitewash and make things more palatable for today's sensibilities, you do a disservice to all those people who died horrible, horrible deaths so that you could be here today and eat your fucking granola and drink your kale smoothie. Remember that. And so when you think about all the the people that died, all those horrible, horrible deaths, and all those brutal, awful people who murdered other people in the name of some bullshit, you do them a disservice by trying to rewrite the history. You do them a disservice. Johnny's Chop Shop, Way of the Brush, episode 281, a 24-hour marathon. Pfft, yeah, nuts to that. I'd never do a goddamn marathon. Are you kidding me? The only way I'm going to do a marathon is if I was hopped up on coke. That's the only way you can do a 24-hour marathon. That's right, I'm talking to you, cokehead. Grim, I think I'm done painting my engine sear, but every time I pick up, I notice a spot missed. Yeah, I do the same thing too, man. All the time. Like, especially when I'm doing for game pieces, whatever, and it's like, okay, this looks great. And then all of a sudden, look at it under the camera, and it's like, there's a spot missing. It's like, son of a bitch. Yeah. Dr. Santos, Kris, you should check out Sam Onelia Academy on YouTube. He makes some pretty neat videos about the weird things in history. Yeah, I do watch some history stuff. I watch a lot of educational type of shit on YouTube. I don't watch a lot of bullshit on YouTube. Like stuff that shows up on the trending, I often don't watch. There's a few things I watch that are, just for giggles' sake. Like the Try channel, where they just try a bunch of stuff. It's bunch of Irish people. I find it entertaining. I don't know why. Just listening to their accent, the Irish accent. It's just fun. Foibles. We'll see. Well, Canada was made in 1867, so our hands were clean. Blame the British. Well, Canada wasn't ratified into a country until the fucking 1960s, but okay. But yeah, I mean, that's colonialism. And my father, who, if he was alive today, probably would have wrote a paper on, because he always mentioned, and this is a problem of the world today, but can we survive colonialism? Can we survive it? Can humanity survive colonialism? Because colonialism, the world over, was quite destructive. And a lot of the problems that we have today, the world over, in many countries, is because of colonialism. Can we survive colonialism? Can we survive it? Can humanity move past it without whitewashing it and rewriting history to make it more palatable? Can we survive it? Dark Commission. I'm sick of how British history is being murdered for political reason. I love truth, not lies. You're right. And as I said, like, can we survive colonialism? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, British played a big part in that one. It wasn't pretty. But, you know, trying to rewrite history does all those people a disservice on both sides of where we're at today. Right? Yes, it was ugly. Yes, it was brutal. Yes, it was all those awful, awful things. And yeah, but that's history. And there's an opportunity to learn there. If you rewrite it, you're not learning anything. Anyway. Fuck, I gotta end the show here. Johnny Shop. What was the name of the little guy at Mini Wargaming that used to bust his balls all the time? Grims writes, was it Quirk, Johnny? Was it Quirk? Quirk? Yeah. Yeah. Quirk's moved up in the world, I think. At least I think he might be. I don't know. He's selling houses now. He's a realtor. Realtor? Yeah. He's a realtor now. We're gonna see his faces on billboards around here. Man, the first day I see his face on a billboard around here, I'll probably just put the car into the rhubarb. I think at that point I might just drive her right off the road. I'll be like, holy fuck, his goddamn face is on a fucking billboard. The stories we could share of that. the stories we could share. If we could share all those stories. I should have Quirk on here sometime. Whenever he's got some free time, I should get him on here. Yeah. Anyway. If you're brand new to the hobby, you're a commission painter, you just want to share what you're working on, send your emails to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. You can ask your questions, whatever. Of course, in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness. Has the links to social media as well as the Discord. Discord's been fantastic. We talk all the time in Discord, so join us on Discord. It's been a really great community we built there. Everybody's been really great. We've only had to punish a few monkeys for being bad, like a handful. Handful got out of line. We had to bust out the band hammer on them. But otherwise, I like to promote a very sharing, comfortable space there where we can be ourselves. And yes, it gets a little weird at times, but I don't discourage it. I encourage people to be themselves as long as, it doesn't infringe on others, in a bad way. But I do encourage, openness. Anyway. Discord's been a lot of fun. Join us on Discord. Also at wayofthebrush.com is links for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy and knowledgeable and just You want to just look like a fucking badass? They're wearing a Way the Brush shirt. Swear to God. I swear to God. Because you know all my stances on God. I'm just going to end this on all sorts of notes. People are going to be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Anyway. WayTheBrush.com. T-shirts. Help to support the cause. If you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at WayTheBrush.com. WayTheBrush.com also has links for Patreon. You'll see it at the top of the page. Patreon. I'm independent these days. This is how I make a living now. So I need Patreon support. Oh, people are already they're already jumping on. Patreon support. Huge thank you to all my patrons who currently support me. This again would not be possible. So huge thank you. For everybody out there who can support, there are varying tiers of level of support. So I kind of forgot where I was going with all this. So a huge thank you. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, ringing the bell, all that stuff, that helps as well. It helps tremendously. And then all it takes is a couple clicks of a button and you're helping me. So you want to help this channel, you want to help me, and you want to help support the cause. That's how you can do it as well. If you don't have to spend money. You can just click the button, thumbing up the video. That helps. Commenting, saying, Kris, great video. I have a question. You can ask it right then and there. Or you can send me an email. One of the two, right? We also say thank you to Carl, a.k.a. Guymere Alfer, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out. If you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl, Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always say thank you to Carl for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingle that plays before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. Me love you long time. And a big thank you to my brother Evan, who created the Way of the Brush intro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. So always much love to my brother, my baby brother, my baby. He's a baby. He's not a baby though. He's big. You should see, if you ever creep my Instagram, then you see the picture of my brother. My brother's got some big fucking arms on him. He works out. He's a beefcake. Actually, I don't even know. Did you know that beefcake? That the beefcake often is referred to, obviously, the male, right? Male, he's a beefcake, right? He's a big dude, handsome, muscular, right? Did you know cheesecake is the opposite for female of the same, like, standing? Like an attractive woman? She's a cheesecake. I didn't know that. We were looking it up one time because I was with my daughter and we were on this subject and I was like, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, weird father-daughter conversations. And yeah, cheesecake is for female and beefcake is for man. I didn't know that. Now you know it. Knowing's half the battle. All right. Jobs. Yeah, you slapped them good in the face. Yeah. Evan Flo, Kris, time for some vandalism as art. When you see that bus stop bench of Quirk, good old mustache on his mug, he'll know it was you. Yeah, draw the curly mustache on him. Yeah. We'll see. Monkey with a head. Jeez. Monkey with a gun to the head. Dark Commission, I've downsized all my monthly outgoings. Yours is the only one I've kept. Love you, man. In a non-gay way, of course. Haha. Well, I mean, two men can love each other in a non-sexual kind of fashion. Like, look at a love between a father and son. Love between a brother and a brother. Two men can love each other in an open and say, I love you, right? You know, love, without it being sexual. So, you know, nothing wrong with it. I feel all warm inside now. All right, I'm getting the hell. Oh, yeah. Way of the Brush, episode 282. But you slapped that face good. I slapped that face. Yeah, I should. Maybe I'll have to send him a message. I'll have to see maybe what he's doing in the future. Maybe because we've talked about having him on, just coming in and, you know, sitting here. But like I said, he's been busy because he's, you know, becoming a realtor, right? So, yeah. Anyway, I'm done. Holy shit. Man, I'm trying not to make this show a 3-hour show, but Man, you guys keep me freaking gum flapping. All right, time to get the hell out of here. It's a Saturday. Go enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Go hug a loved one. Go paint a miniature. Maybe read a book. Whatever it is. Do something. Maybe do something nice for somebody. It's all it takes sometimes, you know, is doing something nice. We've actually, you know what we've been doing quite a bit lately? Is when we go to like the Tim Hortons and stuff, we've been paying for the person behind us. And so it's just that kind of shit, you know? Just more positivity in the world. Just tiny things. It's just got to be tiny things. Saying I love you. Hugging a loved one. Telling somebody that they look nice. Not being an asshole. Slowing down, not cutting somebody off. You don't always have to be in a fucking rush all the time, you know? Just these small, tiny little things. And, you know, an avalanche starts with one little snowflake, right? Little snowflake touches, and it touches more, and you know, and it's just that. It's all these tiny little things, all these little niceties can build into a giant wave, you know? Why not? I don't know if that has ever occurred on this planet, an entire wave of just positive things where the entire world was just, you know what, today's a nice day. It's a good day to be alive, you know? I don't know if that's ever happened in human history. Wouldn't it be interesting to see that day when everybody just goes, you know what, it's a nice day. There's nothing chaotic going on. Everybody's nice, you know? It's just a nice day. It doesn't have to be fucking great. It doesn't have to be, you know, all rainbows and unicorns and, you know, it just, you know, it was a nice day. It was just a nice day. Anyway, let's get the hell out of here. Let's go enjoy the rest of our Saturday and have a nice day.